And we are live, or I am live. I am live. Not sure if anybody is here just yet, but we will see. We will see if anybody pops in here. And I'll just prattle on for a moment for the benefit of those of you who may catch this after the fact. Do I have the thing pulled up for chat? Hold on a second. Let me see here. I see Nerd is here. Kay Munin. Bernard is here. And no, LPH will be here shortly. LPH will be here shortly. She is running behind. So there we go. I'll make myself a little bit bigger. Something odd with the lighting, but she should be here shortly. I said that. Metro Sky is here as we get ready to jump off the evening. We were not able to do a live last week. We were not. If I turn this a little bit, that'll help. We were not able to do a live last week. It was way too much going on. Way too much going on with LPH and her family. She had some things that she had to get wrapped up, so she was in South Carolina, actually. I see Johnny is here, as well as Legends and Retro Style Toys joining us. Glad you could make it. And since she is not here, yes, I bring out the crown. Heavy is the head that wears the crown. As I mess around with my over-exaggerated King Lear voice. Greetings, everyone. Salutations. You may enter. Just having a little fun with you guys. My little crown there. It's actually not a bad quality costume crown. And I had toyed with the idea of bringing this to Joe Lanta. And I was going to bring it on Sunday, and we forgot. We forgot about it because she teases me about the crown all the time. And Orpheus is here. He says, King Migo. King Migo. Well, there's a Dr. Migo. Dr. Migo, I'm sure some of you might be familiar with who that is. He's tied in with the entire new Migo thing as we get ready to jump off the evening here. Give some people an opportunity to sign in or to join us, as it were. Open discussion, all things nostalgia. And hopefully everybody's had a decent week this week. That, as my wife likes to say, uneventful, as long as it was uneventful in a positive way, because you can have events and they can be a good thing. But often events are a tough thing because life can be complicated. Life can be complicated, but hopefully everybody was having a good week. I've been very busy. As a lot of you are probably aware, we take care of a lot of shelter cats. We take care of a lot of shelter cats. Fiddle Chips is here. Glad you could join us. And it's expensive. It's expensive to help them all. We had 20. 2 were adopted through Paws Atlanta. And I've been trying to find services to get the other ones worked on, because in the clouder of cats that lives behind our home, there's some 20, no, I forget how many, but out of the grouping, there's 4 females. And if you're not careful, you'll end up with 50 of them. Maybe it's the lens. Let me wipe that lens real quick, because it looks funny. Is that better? I don't know. Could be the lighting. But out of the, I'll move some things around. Out of the group, there's 4 females, and I was like, God, if I can at least get the 4 females serviced, right, then I won't end up with 50, 80 cats back there. That can happen very quickly. And I finally got hold to a service, right? And Custom God says, great job adopting out some of the cats. Well, 2 of them anyways, but it's better than nothing, because I'd love to keep them all, honestly, but it's not sustainable. So, and I'll make a whole video on the subject. I'll make a whole video on this subject. But long story short, I was able to get a service that would come out. I was able to get a service to come out. So I might do a crowdfund to help to pay for it. But I don't know. We'll see. But I rounded them up. I did all the work, really. And I got 11 out of the 12 that were out back that were not already fixed. I got my hands on 11 of them. And the woman who was out here was like, this is actually really incredible. I've been doing this 20 years, and this is the easiest roundup I've ever been involved with, because I was able to get all 11 of them in like 30 minutes. And she was like, usually, sometimes I'm days just trying to round up like 5 or 6 of them with people, and you can't get them. And John is here. He says, where's Miss LPH? She's coming. She's running behind. She's running an errand. And Legend says it's really important to get them neutered and spayed to keep them from overpopulation. And Robert is here. And I asked where LPH is. I just told you. Munin wants to know if there's any pickups. A couple of things I'll show you in a few minutes. And Johnny made a donation. He says, here is my taxes, King. Please don't jail me. Ah, yeah, right. I appreciate it, Johnny. It goes a long way, especially with all what we're doing here. But I did round them all up, and I got pictures of them. I'll put it up here. These are all of them in the little cages after I caught them. That's a kitten, actually. That's not. He's just rough. That's a really rough customer, that one. That is Monkey, I think. Or is that Speck? I don't know. I name them because I'm crazy. There's another one of the kittens. That's another kitten. She's a sweetheart, actually. I call that one Pirate, because if you see her face there, her nostrils are black. And it's kind of like a skull. It's weird. That's Monkey. That's Monkey. That's the one that was burned, that someone found in the engine of their car, and they brought it to my house. That's one of the kittens. That's the feral mama who dropped a litter in our yard. I was shocked I got her, because she usually doesn't let me anywhere near her. That one I call Junior. He's actually a really sweet cat, too. And that one I call Sugar. I don't know why. Look at that expression on his face, like, damn it, what are you doing to me? And another one of the girls, one of the females. I think that's all of them. That's 11. That's 11 of them. John says, have you been using Imperial Margarine, eating at Burger King, or finishing off a bowl of King Vitamin? Do they make King Vitamin? I don't think so. I think they stopped making that a long time ago. And DC is here. And Nerd says, is that real Ermine? No, of course not. And Gilgamesh has joined us. And Johnny said, Monkey is obsessed with the beard. Yeah, the one that we call Monkey. He loves the beard, and he digs in it constantly. If he gets an opportunity, he digs in it. I'll wake up in the middle of the night because he's staying in the house. He was the one that someone found in the engine of their car, and his paws were burned. And I'll wake up in the middle of the night, and he's got his nose buried in my beard, and he's digging in it with his claws. He's weird. Let me see here. Legend says, realize the secret meaning to the public domain book Millions of Cats. As I catch up a few of these. Johnny says, go back to the photo of Pirate. Look at her head. There's a white triangle on her forehead that's perfectly centered. Can I show the photo again? And she's a little ball of fluff. She is a very, very friendly animal. Let me find her. Let me find her here. The one that I missed. There she is. The one that I missed is one that I call Wolf, and he actually looks like a wolf from a distance, a little wolf. But she said it was remarkable how quickly and easily I rounded him up, because sometimes it takes days, and also how healthy they all were. So usually they're not in good health, and she was surprised at how healthy they were. Gilgamesh said, "Cool cats. I hope you could find homes for them." I'll try. I'll try. Custom God said, "Cute kitties. I'm slowly getting a black cat to come into the house and eat. Hopefully he'll live with us soon." Yeah, they'll get to a point. I'm still trying to turn this because I don't understand what's going on with the lighting acting up. You see what I mean? Maybe I need to get to the side. It wants me to be in my usual position is what it is, because I'm usually like sitting right here, and then LPH is right there. But yeah, over time, yeah, they'll get to a point where they're comfortable and they'll come in and hang around. That's how we ended up with Miss Kitty. She wandered around for months at the back of the house, come up and eat, and then run away. And one day she came into the house and just went in, and we forgot all about Miss Kitty. And the next day I was like, "Hey, wait a minute, did that cat ever leave?" And we found her asleep, nestled between two pillows on the bed in the guest bedroom, like the next day. And she really has never left. Brad says, "Bless you for taking care of the cats," or "God bless you." Thank you. Somebody has to. Poor things. Fiddle Chip says they have 2 cats. Mittens is the only one allowed, and my collection floor. Attila doesn't respect toys or comics. Yeah, and that's kind of the deal with Miss Kitty, because Miss Kitty, she can come down here because she doesn't jump on anything. All she wants to do is sit in one of these 2 chairs. She doesn't touch anything else, so it's fine if she's down here. And Johnny says, "I never had a favorite, but I think I just made Pirate my favorite now." And Jay is here, and he says, "Where's LPH?" On her way. She's running behind because she had an errand to run. And so, who is it? Munin asked if I had a pickup. I got this today, actually. I found it at Value Village for $2. It is a Battlestar Galactica drinking glass, 1979. Commander Adama, Battlestar Galactica. The glass is intact. So I was like, yeah, I'll get that. And then they've got a little bio on the back there. It tells you about Commander Adama. It says, "The leader and commander of Battlestar Galactica in the super science fiction production. His daring and exciting role, hard to read through the glass, includes plotting the escape from the Cylons through outer space to seek peace on Earth. He is depicted as a colossal man of war in numerous breathtaking experiences." Commander Adama, everybody. Thank you very much. And Robert says, "Do you still have the toothless cat?" I forgot his name. Hobo. Yes, he lives on our back porch. And there's the wife. There's the wife. She made it. Hooray. Everybody was asking about you.
Mm-hmm. No,
Fiddle Chip says they were born in 1979. And Johnny said Lorne Green as Commander Adama. That is correct. That was Lorne Green. Also most notably known for his role on Bonanza, as well as other things. He appeared on an episode of Highway to Heaven as well, where he played an actor who saw God.
Oh, yeah, that was him.
That was him. And Jonathan was like, he can't be serious. I'm an angel, and I haven't seen him. How come he gets to see it? He was upset. He was like, "No, the guy's full of crap. There's no way." And turns out he did.
Yeah.
He did see him.
Disappeared at the end. Guy was sitting in the front row.
Yeah, sitting in the front row in that one chair. Gilgamesh says, "That's cool. I have old glasses like that, but I don't drink out of any of them. I'm afraid of the paint fading." No, don't drink out of them. Shame on you. Nerd says, "Love the original and Ronald Moore remake." The
of Battlestar Galactica? Okay.
John says, "What's the worst Comic-Con, Toy-Con, or Retro-Con that you both have ever been to?"
Oh, man. We were at one. And
it's wasn't... slowly dying is what that is. That one's dying. Is that the one? Oh, you tell it, because I don't know if I'm thinking of the right one.
Okay. We had went to I don't know. I guess it was a toy show,
Mm-hmm.
and we had drove quite a ways, and
Oh,
it
I know which
wasn't
one. I
it
know which one.
wasn't bad until it was nothing there that we were interested in. The
Mm-hmm.
venue was really nice because it was a space museum,
Yes.
so they had all these like space shuttles, and then they had like little rooms you can go in to see the space shuttles and space exhibits and all of that. But the toys and stuff, not so much. They didn't have a lot of vendors. It was a small space, and it was still okay until I went to one vendor, because he had a Batman figure that I
It was
wanted.
a.
It was
It
a it
was.
was a it was a vehicle,
Yes.
and I asked him the price, and he gave me a hard time, really rude about it, and I just like, screw you, dude, and walked away. And after that, that's for me, that's what made it bad. But the show itself was fine. It was that one experience that caused it to be kind of lame. Which one are you talking about?
Oh, I thought you were talking about that one that we agreed recently we're not going back to.
Which one is it?
Um, it was that comic show, but there was only like 4 comic vendors there because every time we go to that show, there's fewer and fewer vendors of any kind. They're kind of fading away. I just don't want to throw a show under the bus by naming it. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
I think I know which one
Yeah,
you're talking
yeah,
about. And they moved it to a bigger venue.
yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It was really good. They had it in one venue, and then they tried to grow it and move it to a bigger venue, and the venue was humongous, but it wasn't a lot of vendors. It was mainly Toy Alley. I think that's the one you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. But I mean, it was okay. I think
Oh
I
no.
don't know if we bought anything or not. It was okay. It was kind of disappointing because it was maybe 75% Toy Alley. I mean, Artist
Artist
Alley.
Alley, yeah.
I mean, they had spices. They had the guy making
Yeah, they had
leather goods.
the guy with the hot sauce.
Yeah, the hot
A
sauce.
lot of people making beads and bracelets and just trinkets and junk and keychains, and
Yeah,
I'm like, do
it
these
was.
people make any money? Because you see people milling around, but you don't see anybody buying anything. The guy who
Yeah,
burns wood, makes signs,
yeah,
and like, I
yeah.
don't know what to think about that.
I don't know. Oh, I know which one you're talking about now. Okay,
Yeah,
okay, okay, okay. I know which one you're talking about now. Yeah, when we went the first time, it was mainly all toys.
yeah,
And then we went back recently, and it was like almost all Artist Alley.
yeah. They can't get the vendors anymore.
Yeah,
They've I guess they're not making any money there, so they slowly like backing off.
yeah. And everybody there is on Etsy. They got an Etsy store, and it's Etsy this, Etsy that, and it's like an Etsy or Artist Alley con, because I mean they got the person that make T-shirts, and um they paint things on your jacket and all kinds of stuff. I know which one you're talking about now. Okay, 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 yeah.
I think it was a Universal Studios restaurant, Robert,
Hmm.
if I remember correctly. I could be wrong. Munin says you remind me by showing that cup. I'll have to do some early Christmas shopping. And John
Hey John,
McJunkin is
how are
there.
you?
And
Yeah,
what was it? Jay says, are you going to Retro Toy Con?
I think so.
Uh huh.
I have an aunt that's sick that lives in that
Uh
area,
huh.
and I try to go see her. Last year I wasn't able to. My mom had got sick at the same time Retro Toy Con went on. She had that stroke at the same time, so I ended up not going. Hopefully this year we go. We haven't been in a while. Um, I want to say we missed the last 2 shows, so hopefully we're able to go.
Yeah.
Hey, David,
Blue Splash is here.
how are you doing with the move? Oh, how did you do with the storm? Because you were in Florida, and that's where that you had 2 storms back to back.
Mm-hmm.
So how did you fare with that? And I know you say you're moving. Hey T Stewart, how are you?
And Fiddle Chips went to New York Comic Con.
Oh,
No more. 1990 to 2016 Pop Culture Festival. That's way too expensive.
whoa.
Well, I mean,
Plus New
San Diego
York right
Comic Con
now.
too, and I've talked about that before because Bud Plant, who had been there for 48 years at San Diego Comic Con, bailed, and he was a fixture. He's one of the originals that would be out there, and he was like, it's not vendor friendly anymore. It's not really about comics anymore, and it's way too expensive. I was hoping to round off at 50 years. I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't pay thousands and thousands of dollars for a table and have nobody buy, because they're not even there for that anymore.
No, they're there to do cosplay.
It's turned into something else entirely.
And all of that stuff right there. So we like the smaller shows. We never been to Dragon Con.
Or
that's
dedicated,
the big one.
Dedicated shows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, toy and comics is fine. Comics only, toys only, all of that's fine. But when you get to them big wigs and you got movie stars coming and they're doing a premiere of a new movie, new TV show, that's just ridiculous. And then you got to pay $300 for the weekend. No, that's just too much.
For starters, Johnny says he respects that you will describe a situation or person, but never call the names out. That's a channel that's worth staying to. Thank you. You're welcome. Well, we're not looking to get into a feud with anybody.
No, and we're not looking to tear anybody down too, because we don't like something don't mean you might not like it. Or we went to, like we said, we went to that show. We didn't find anything, but somebody else could have went there and
maybe they had a good time.
You know, everybody's not looking for the same thing. And you know, you can't try to tear people down. You got enough trouble in your life. You don't need some stranger that you only know by name on a comment section.
You start,
that's tear why you to bits.
That's why I did that video a couple of weeks back too. I don't need to title my video with an at ampersand at so and so sucks, and why I think at so and so is a piece of crap, and then I get like 100,000 views, and that would be nice. But I don't want to clickbait my way into views or feud my way into views.
No, we'll earn it the honest way, and if that take 12 years, it'll take 12 years.
As Action Joe Figs.
Hey, and he has a channel showing
he does.
G.I. Joe figures.
G.I. Joe figures.
Yeah, mainly the big ones and how to restore them and do work on them.
And Johnny said comic dealers are few in comic cons now. Now you see magicians, cell phone carriers, colleges, insurance companies, and recruiters.
Yeah, we've seen military recruiters the last couple times. Yeah, I'm not insurance or cell phone now, but military army recruiters.
Because that's who you want to recruit, comic book guy. That's who you want.
You never know. You never know.
Mr. I haven't changed my shirt in 4 days.
I haven't washed in a month.
You can look at my shirt, sir, and determine everything that I've eaten for the past 72 hours. Came in and says it's been many years since I last went to a Comic Con. I remember when the exclusives were attainable and not priced to oblivion. Yeah,
well.
And Nerd says, I love the channel because you guys are so genuine, and so is everyone in chat.
Yay!
We try. Oh, something else that I got recently.
Oh boy. David, the only one that got stuff.
Well,
went to a toy show this summer. It was Funko Pops.
Oh yeah,
Pokemon. God, I felt so old.
Nah, young in spirit. These I ran across.
When you got those?
Action Joe Figs says there's a con here in my town. The tickets are $85. No, I wouldn't go. I'm sorry.
Not for no $85.
No, we can't.
I mean, $20 is the most I think we've paid for, and we whine the whole time with that. Shoot.
I know. Anton says, when I went to Comic Con, I only found one guy who was selling action figures, and he was really overpriced. I did buy one Doctor Who figure from him, a Doppel Doctor Who. I hope it was Tom Baker. But anyways, I found You don't remember?
No.
You don't remember these? You'll remember it when I start talking.
Okay.
Check those out. How cool is that?
Not cool at all. Okay. Show your little Christmas mugs.
Look at my little Christmas mugs. And it's painted on both sides.
sides.
Okay. Now, what's so special about these?
I don't know.
One, because of how old they are.
How old are they?
Very likely from the 1960s.
Okay.
Because they are Cold War era behind the wall.
Oh,
Germany mugs.
I remember you getting that from Value Village.
Yes.
Okay, I remember now.
This is probably the only thing that you could get across the border with in those days. This is pretty old school, and it's got this weird crazing on the outside, or the glazing.
Mm-hmm.
And hand painted.
Yeah.
Hand painted by 5-year-olds probably. But I'm just like, I wouldn't drink out of it because it's probably 90% lead. But that is just so campy and weird, or kitschy, they say sometimes. So kitschy. And I knew something was off with them when I saw them. And then I saw the markings underneath, and I'm like, oh, crap. I know what this is.
Oh, wow.
Blue Splash says, I had so many branches down, huge tree tops blown over, and one fell on my power lines. Coming into the house, it was out of power and internet for 6 days.
Wow.
No generator, had to stay at the sister's house.
Really?
Oh, my.
You had to empty out the freezer to the sister house.
Yeah.
Because nothing in the freezer or the refrigerator was going to last.
Robert talking about the Zika toys, Eagle One, $300 to $500,
wow.
and maybe 5 or 6 inches or bigger. Yeah, it's going to be around $500 if you order it from, say, Big Bad Toy Store. It's cheaper if you order it directly from Zika, but then remember, you're not going to get the same kind of shipping discount. So you'd have to balance: is it cheaper with Zika with their postage rates, or cheaper with, say, Big Bad Toy Store with a $4 flat rate shipping?
Yeah.
I would balance that. And yeah, it is a little bit bigger. It's probably about maybe 4 inches longer than the original
But it
Eagle.
stands higher too.
Yeah, it does stand higher because it's meant to scale with the 1/18 scale, or 3 3/4 inch action figures that it comes with.
Okay.
So that's it's meant to scale with them, as opposed to these, which have this one that has figures, but the figures, they can't.
Hold on, let me move the thing.
Yeah. This one has the figures, but the figures are a little smaller, and they're not like Joe style figures, because they're not hardly jointed well at all. And these are just junk. The figures are in terrible shape. Like you see Konig's arm. It's in here. It fell off. But you see there's only 3 points of articulation, and that's one of them. He can't even sit in the Eagle. But the detail is crazy on these. If I can get in there, I don't know how well you can see his face. Somebody really sculpted the hell out of these for what they are. And one of these days, I'll find the figures and all the correct accessories and put them inside my Eagle, which this again was a gift. Yeah. Lee in Canada, who watches the channel, sent
Are you going to get the new one?
No. No, it's not in the budget. Munin says, what a great idea for military recruitment, a 400-pound Star Wars fan that dresses as Jar Jar Binks. Our enemies will be terrified. Nobody dresses as Jar Jar. They're all
stormtroopers.
Yeah, most of the time the cosplay is pretty lazy.
Yes,
let's be honest.
It's always what's the guy in black, Darth Vader or Stormtrooper.
Yeah, a lot of stormtroopers, and a lot of people, they dress in the Imperial military commander suits, the gray suits, because they're too chunky for stormtrooper costumes. Anyways, they couldn't wear that stuff, so they put on the Imperial uniform instead, because then you could be any size. It's like the people from the Ghostbusters groups. Yeah, because all you got to do is put on a brown jumpsuit. Hey, Ghostbuster. And a proton pack. And a proton pack. Johnny says there's more Funko Pops than comics at Comic Cons now.
The Funko Pops had kind of slowed down and kind of disappeared for a little bit, and now they're starting to reappear. Stepping on my leg.
I'm trying to adjust you.
Now they're starting to reappear again.
Yeah.
I'm trying to keep my head out the shot because I got to
What's wrong
get my
with your
hair
head?
done.
Oh,
tomorrow.
you look fine. Fiddle Chip says New York Comic Con is
Whoa.
400 now for 3 days. Yeah, see, that's the problem right there. Action Joe says it's full of celebrities and you still have to pay them to sign or photos, and that's too much. Yeah, I know.
So you got to pay $400 to get in and pay to get your stuff signed and take a picture. That should all be included.
Yeah, the picture is a separate price.
Right.
And then what you sign is a separate price, because you remember that was the whole big deal. People were whining about Mark Hamill because he had a whole like menu of prices of how much it's going to cost to sign what. John says they were advertising a Toy Con where he lives, but by the date it finally came, the Toy Con turned into more of a Pokemon exhibit with another table full of Garfield the cat memorabilia. Garfield. Eric says maybe dress the recruiters as Duke, Scarlet, or Baroness to make it more interesting.
The last one we were to, we saw the Baroness. We saw we've seen Scarlet a couple of times. We always see Cobra Commander. And then we saw, what's the Dreadnought sister at the last one? Zorana. That's the first time I ever saw her show up.
Yeah.
But she was there. No, we have not seen the Penguin TV show. I'm waiting for it to come out on DVD because we don't have Max. So, but I've heard it's really good and I really want to see it. So once it comes out on DVD, I'm going to grab it and then watch it.
And Robert wants to know if the parts fit the old one, the Zika. I doubt it.
I
doubt it's a complete retool.
Yeah.
And no, I'm not drinking out of them, Johnny.
No.
Not those.
Santa's nose looked like a crab claw on your little cup.
Oh, like I said, somebody there's probably like little gulag children painting those.
Oh, he bought a droid.
Okay.
The Doctor Who.
I have him. I bought a droid. Okay. No Tom Baker.
And visiting Augusta.
Oh, okay.
Georgia. Looking for a few homes there. Oh, okay, yeah. Augusta's a nice spot.
We might run into you at a show then.
Well, the Joe Fest is in Augusta, so we go there once a year. We don't go to anything else, but Augusta does have quite a few shows. And then it's like a midway point because they get a couple of things in Columbia, South Carolina. And then it's like an hour and a half from Atlanta. So that's a good spot.
Yeah.
And it's cheaper, way cheaper there.
And Gilgamesh says, that's cool. I have Japanese vases marked Occupy Japan from right after the war. Yeah, Occupado stuff. Munin says, on the latest trip to GameStop, the floor was littered with clearance con exclusive pops.
Wow.
Even the brand new ones are on sale. Take the hint, Funko. No, they can't. They can't stop.
The guy, the original Funko creator, I guess, has a new line. It looks like Funko Pops. The box, the packaging looks a lot better. It's a bigger window box.
Yeah.
The figure kind of looks smaller though.
It looks like a smaller pop, but with facial features.
Yeah.
And it's in a shadow box.
Yeah, like and you can open it because it has a magnet.
Okay.
Where you can open and close it.
If you've ever seen Tinykins, Mark's Tinykins, and it was like a little TV set box with the little figure standing in there in the background, it's like that but bigger.
No, I don't think David getting
No,
that.
I'm not getting it. I would love to get the original Voltron stuff, but I don't
King
want
David.
to. Yeah, uncarded. Oh,
why
here we
you
go.
took your hat off, your crown off?
Because heavy is the head that wears the crown.
Just a random question, but do you guys use or know of any app to catalog your toy collection? No, I don't know of any app. I use Microsoft Excel.
Yeah, there's no specific app because probably there's too many different genres.
Yeah.
Too many different toy companies, too many different lines. I mean, you can get one that's focused like they have the one for Pops.
Yeah. I've never even heard of an app for toys. Now I've heard, of course, you got the one for vinyl records. You got the ones, you got several for vinyl records. You got several for comic books, but I don't think I even heard of one for toys. Me, I just put mine in Microsoft Excel. I created a spreadsheet and I put all of the information in. Then I also have a column for value.
Yeah.
What's the value of them? Because for insurance purposes, they want to know value.
Yeah.
The one downside, um, you, I mean, if I work with it, I could add a picture because I like to have the picture of the item. You know, at least a box picture of the item. Um, but what I do on some of them is just put a link. So it's like a hyperlink and then it'll take you to a picture.
Yeah.
You know, that outside of that, I've never even heard of a app for or a web page or nothing for toy collections. No, we don't celebrate Halloween at
No.
all.
You know what you do? You put a bucket on your porch with a sign that says help yourself, but the bucket's already empty. And then when the kids come, they think, oh man, somebody snapped it all up.
Yeah.
Never leave a bucket out that way. You know why? You ever seen any of these Ring cameras of that stuff?
Mm-mm.
Because the parents, it's
Mm-hmm.
always the parents. I've seen several videos of it.
Mm-hmm.
They'll take that whole bucket and dump it. Yeah, and not even the kids. It's the parents that are doing it. Munin says they agree they've been noticing more pops showing up at every store. Those pops will still be there.
Not at the store
now.
around here. Because well, we go to Walmart. Rarely ever go to Target.
It's not in demand like it used to be.
No. I mean, and it's actually honestly, it's some pops I would like to see on clearance. I would get it, but they don't show up around here. I guess they got, and I never go to GameStop either. So I mean, maybe if I went to GameStop and Target, I would find the ones that I'm looking for. Not even looking for. I always say if I see them in the store, I would get them. But I only go to Walmart, so I don't really even look. So I go to Walmart, I look in that section. It's never the ones I'm interested in.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like the end of my hunt. That
well, again, and I talked about this in some of the older videos talking about the Funko, the company. They can't slow down because they are publicly traded. If they slow down, because their sales are reflective of how many are picked up mostly by retail outlets, not by how many actually sell. So they've got to keep moving volume if they're being publicly traded. They're already a junk stock because they're less than, what is it, $28?
They're like under, at $11.
Yeah, but you have to be under $28, I think, to be a junk stock. So yeah, they're a penny stock basically. And in order to justify being publicly traded and not going bankrupt, they've got to keep cranking out merchandise. They can't stop, especially since I think it's next year, isn't it, that their notes come due, and if they can't refinance, they'll have to sell out to another company or Hasbro or Disney or somebody.
Disney probably.
Yeah, so
and then really
it's really up in the air. It's all stuff I've talked about, like in videos. Well, it's been a while since I've done a dedicated Funko video.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Everybody got mad at me anyways because you Funko forever, man. You don't understand. They have all these franchises, dude. And it's
franchise like nobody wants.
Yeah, basically it's like, okay, you could have 1,000 different franchises, but you have one product design. That product design doesn't change. The pop is still a pop. So it doesn't matter how many franchises you have if people get tired of the standard concept, which is why they always were trying to roll out something else. The last thing was the sodas.
Yeah.
Which for whatever reason they've stopped with that recently. They haven't put a soda out in a minute, but they need that next thing because they knew pops would eventually fall off because sooner or later, the ride's over. It happens to every toy line. It's nothing personal.
But they weren't doing bad with the carded action figures. It's just that they
got in trouble.
They got in trouble because they took a Masters of the Universe body and turned it into whatever they wanted it to. And those figures are actually pretty good. I got the Thundercats wave
Yeah,
and the
horror.
horror wave.
But the
But
the DC ones
mhm.
were too close because they did the DC as like a fantasy thing.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
was too close to Masters, and Mattel was like, "You want to get sued or not? Knock it
Mhm.
off," and they just stopped making them all together.
I mean, all they had to do is retool the bodies. They didn't have to
Well,
stop.
they had to stop the theme because now Super 7 is doing the same thing, and Mattel's not saying anything to them. Those new ones that they're doing, the bulky looking,
But they probably got permission.
I don't know, maybe, but yeah, they backed off. Well, when Mattel got pissed off, Blue Splash mentioning that the
Oh yeah,
hurricane was the worst that they had experienced, and they were worried about their home and collection, of course, being
yeah.
destroyed, and moved the collection to another room.
I hope you got insurance.
Yeah, I hope everything's going to turn out okay.
Yeah.
And Action Joe said, the more I looked at the Operation Monster Force, the more I liked it. I ordered one to check it out. Well, you have to let us know
Operation
how it
Monster
goes.
Force. What's that? That sounds familiar.
Yeah, it's one of the action figure lines that we show where the guys are like werewolves and stuff, the soldiers.
Mm-hmm.
Anton says he got to meet Andy Serkis, though yes, he was expensive. It didn't matter.
Oh, when he was at one of the
Yes.
shows. I don't know who Andy is though.
Johnny wants to go to a Weird Al concert. VIP tickets with his signature and photo was $250, and that does not include entry ticket. Not for me. Entry tickets should be included. Wow, Weird Al's on that bandwagon too, huh? And Fiddle Chip says, back in the day, as long as you brought the comic, the artist writer would sign your book for free. I would never pay for a signature, and that's one of my biggest arguments because, you know, my way back in my history, in the early 90s, I worked with Great Eastern Conventions, and they had a lot of comic book artists and writers and colorists and whoever, and they would come to those shows, and they would sign your books for free. If you paid to get in, they would sign your book. And so for me, watching autographs, watching Stallone charging $3,000 for an autograph. And
what?
Yeah, I'm not kidding.
Oh my god,
that's correct, isn't it, Johnny? Johnny's the one that showed me the price list for that one, I think.
No,
and then and what's his name? Mark Hamill charging $700 for an autograph and all the rest of this, and that doesn't even include a photo. And I'm like, God, you know, again, even at the sci-fi shows where you were expected to pay for autographs, it was like $5. And now they want so much for it, and it doesn't add anything.
I don't even like autographs.
I mean, if you want it for the nostalgic purpose, you know, like I've got Gil Gerard's signature on the Buck Rogers figure up there, and Felix Silva on the Tweaky. But just for the sake of the nostalgia, if you feel the inkling towards it, but it's not going to add value. It won't. There's too many of them. It's not like if you wanted Houdini's autograph, how many of them do you think there are out there?
1 million.
Houdini?
I don't know.
No, you probably couldn't find one legitimate one for sale on eBay. They're all copies or facsimiles. But Stan Lee, there's probably 10,000 Stan Lee autographs on eBay right now. I think he's been doing signatures since the mid 70s. He's been selling his autographs since the mid 70s. Well, he was giving them away at first, but then he started charging. Or if you look at, like, I've mentioned Lou Ferrigno before. Remember, he's been running the autograph circuit for more than 30 years.
No, it's called Thrill Joy, and you can go to their website, and it runs about $50 each.
Munin asking about what those figures are.
I never heard of U2's, but the one that I'm talking about, the guy that used to own Funko, his is called Thrill Joy.
Yeah,
and he got the same Funko license, I guess. I don't know. He still got the rights to them. He still own them. I don't know how that works, but he already got, you go on the webpage, they got the Masters of the Universe, Lord of the Rings, some Marvel stuff. He already got a lot of stuff.
Yeah, it's licensed stuff.
And each one of them is about $50 each. And it's like, man, when you did Funko Pops, they were $8-9.
Yeah, not even.
And they still run around that amount, depending on what store you go to. And you want $50 for this thing? Golly, do you want to sell it?
Yeah. Johnny and Gilgamesh say they use Excel spreadsheets.
Yeah, I use that. But the one thing that I thought about, not that I'm interested in them at all, but I was like, okay, if this turns out to be like a Funko, you at least you're at the ground floor. So if you were to buy a couple of them, at least you got the first ones, and then if they jump off in 5 years,
Yeah.
and then it's like you paid $50, but now they were 600. Because some of the first Funkos are worth a lot.
Yeah, the pre 2015.
Yeah.
Because that's when they went. They were around since 2010, but nobody was interested in them. But then in 2014, it started to pick up steam.
Yeah.
And then in 2015, they started cranking that stuff.
Yeah.
That's when they really started cranking it. So anything between 2010 and 2014, those still retain some decent value.
Yeah. So I don't know if this will do the same thing, but if you were to get into it, at least you would be on the ground floor. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah. And then the thing I like about the Excel spreadsheet, you can always add to it. You can always take away and just add like a column. But I use it for everything: my comic books, action figures, my statues, my lunch boxes, everything except for my records. I use Discog for that.
Yeah.
Because one is free. And it tells you the value.
Because the comic ones are not.
No, the comic ones you have to pay for. And if you get the free one, it's only for so many books.
Yeah.
So, maybe like 500 books. So you got to stop at 500. So I also take a photo of the item or just video record and put on a thumb drive and put thumb drive in a safe place. Yeah. We and that's what we always tell people: do a tour and show all of your stuff so you'll have a video of it. So if something happened, you can say, I got an unboxing or anything to show that you have that in your possession.
Yeah.
Not only is the candy bucket empty, but the bucket it's gone.
Yeah, pretty much. And Nerd says, greedy parents, good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, all they're doing is teaching the kids to steal. Robert says he's wondering, does Godzilla's flame tongue work? Yeah, it's not a tongue per se. They call it a tongue. But yeah, all three of those, the switches work. Robert says it'd be cool if you had to have Ben Cooper kids show up at your house. Won't happen.
No, they don't come here because we don't. The front porch light don't be on. Yeah, one of my Walmarts was clearance in Pops one time for $1 each. They hardly carry any now.
And then this one.
Hey James, how are you?
One more.
Oh,
it's behind your head.
Oh, okay.
They all work. I'm just going slow with it.
That's
because
right.
I don't like to screw around with them too much.
Yeah, we're still watching Street Sharks.
God, that show.
And let's shark dive.
Frog.
That show is funny now. I like it.
I don't know.
I mean, it is dumb and doofy,
yeah.
but it's a 90s cartoon, and most of them were like that. I really don't remember Ninja Turtles. I remember watching it.
Yeah.
But I don't remember the show well, but I kind of feel like if I were to try to watch it, I would hate it. But I might try to watch it if I can find it on one of the streaming apps, which I doubt. I'll try to watch a couple of episodes to see if I can tolerate it. But I know Street Sharks take a lot of jabs at Ninja Turtles.
They do. It's funny. Munin says they went to Walmart, found a ton of Motu figures on clearance, but the boxes looked like they were used as a chew toy for a bear. And then DC there says, any new vintage action figure lines you're thinking about starting to collect?
Actually, I talked about that today. I'm thinking about starting Knight Rider, which is only 2 figures.
Yeah, well, there's a figure with a vehicle, and then there's a figure of Michael Knight by himself.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah.
And it's like, why would you just buy a single Knight Rider action figure who's out of scale with everything else that was available at the time, by the way, because he's like 6 inches tall, and then not have kit, and then when you do buy kit, it already comes with Michael Knight.
Yeah, but I can't understand why they didn't do Devin and Bonnie and at least the 18-wheeler.
The 18-wheeler in that scale, which I don't know.
I mean, they don't have to be to scale, but you could be like,
they just wanted to test the waters and get something out there,
I
and it probably
guess.
didn't sell.
Oh.
Johnny said, anyone pre-order Mego Atlas? They ordered Devilina. Devilina is the one everybody wanted.
Mm.
And
Hey,
Patrick is here.
How are you?
And then who's that? Blue Splash says, house is
Oh,
fine,
good.
no damage.
Praise God.
Oh, good.
Thank God for that. Because I say, oh, I wonder how David is doing.
Anton says he was the fellow that was in King Kong, Lord of the Rings, and he was in the new Planet of the Apes.
Okay. Oh, okay. That's the guy that he was talking about, the Andy.
Yeah, the actor. Yes,
Andy. Andy. Okay.
And then there is David Whitehead is here.
How are you?
Arcade and Toy Channel.
Mm-hmm.
And who remembers? Oh yeah, Munin says Stallone charged $3,000 for an autograph. You must need the money. He doesn't though. That's the thing.
No, because he got that new show out. Something
Tulsa
Kings.
Tulsa Kings. I mean, plus he owns all of his franchises. So I mean, he's still collecting royalties from Rocky, from Rambo, from everything. And Blue Splash says, went to Ollie's yesterday, found New Comic Legends, grabbed a couple of 2-packs, drove home and found one of the packs was missing a figure. Oh, God. And Johnny said Stallone auto prices, the low end was $750 and the high end was $3,000.
What's high and low?
And I did pay up and got one that was $750, although it was only an 8x10.
Oh, okay. So he charged you by the size of the picture.
Yes. So $750 was for an 8x10 photograph.
Okay, wait. So the $750 was the price of the picture and the autograph? Is that what you're saying, Johnny?
You provide your own photo, right?
Because I mean, I reorganized my collection of. Oh, okay, that's
David
cool.
did. That's good.
Now, because a signature is a signature, no matter what size paper it is, unless you're at the highway department signing for your license and you got to sign in that little script that's this big. Outside of that,
yeah, but you want to get them to sign something cool.
Yeah, but my point is, the signature is the signature, no matter what size of the packaging. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? If it's a index card, an envelope, a figure, a box.
You know what I think is funny? The kid who, I can't remember his name, but the kid who was the boy from Gremlins. Mm-hmm. Most of you have seen Gremlins. He's on the autograph circuit and he signs Gremlins stuff.
Yeah.
But people get him to sign stuff with Gizmo on it, right?
Yeah.
He wasn't the puppet. He was the kid.
Right.
So you're signing, that's like if I was the actor who played Boba Fett and I'm signing autographs on a photograph of Darth Vader. That wasn't you. He was
at Plastic Empire doing that.
And he was signing Gremlin Pops.
He signed everything.
And at $50 a pop, I think $50 or $60.
I think it was $50. Yeah. And I remember that.
That's not you. You weren't Gremlin. You weren't Gizmo. Gizmo was the name of the Gremlin. That wasn't you.
What they got to do with Sylvester Stallone got these tiers of signatures?
I don't know. Nerd says, David, don't get Ferrigno angry because you wouldn't like Lou when he's angry. Lou's always angry.
But I'm saying, why you got to charge for various sizes? Your signature size most likely is not going to change. The grade of your signature is not going to change. It's not like, oh, you getting the $750 signature, so I'm gonna write it all small and like I'm 2 years old. And if you pay $3,000, you're gonna get this big old signature with a black Sharpie pen, and it's gonna be all nice and neat. You know what I'm saying? What's the difference?
I don't know.
That doesn't make any sense.
I want to do a whole video on the subject, actually. I've been thinking about that because I have some points to make. Fiddle Chips.
The only point you can make is what's the difference between $750 and $3,000 if the signature doesn't change.
Because they are basing their pricing on the fact that they believe you do not legitimately want that autograph for yourself. You intend to flip it. So the larger or the more obscure the item, the more technical value they perceive it would have, and they're going to charge you more for it based on that. Basically, their pricing system is taxing you on the size of your item based on what they think you're going to try to flip it for.
What if I get them an index card?
Base price.
That don't make an answer. But you know
Well,
how I feel about autographs anyway. I don't like autographs.
I know. You like
And
that? Oh, so you want to give back that Undertaker autograph?
You got that Undertaker.
But I gave it to you.
Yeah.
You don't want it?
I want it because
See?
you gave it to
Oh,
me.
well, that's
but
sweet
I
of you to
wouldn't
say.
go out seeking a signature. If I met the Undertaker, I'm happy just taking a picture. I don't need him.
He'll
to write
charge
his
you
name.
for that too.
See, that don't make an ounce of sense.
Fiddle chips.
What if I see him in Walmart?
It used to be free. They used to let you take
but
pictures.
if you see him in Walmart, I bet you it'll be free.
Maybe.
Can you be like, hey, Undertaker, how you doing? And then you do like this.
Okay. Well, my contract with my production manager doesn't allow me to do that. Fiddle Chip says, the idea of paying for another human being's autograph to me is silly. That's putting a person on a very high pedestal. We've signed stuff before. People have asked us to sign stuff before.
Yeah, we didn't charge a dime.
No, we didn't charge anything.
I bet you I'm going to charge next time.
That one guy wanted me to, weirdest thing I ever, because Pixel Dan brought this up on his channel before, because he had to sign something and he thought it was pretty weird.
Mm-hmm.
It was because people get him to sign like Ninja Turtle stuff and things like that, and he's like, I don't understand, because
why?
He understands signing his book, but why are you bringing me action figures? And the weirdest thing that I've ever been asked to sign was that mug. Remember, it was a Arnold Schwarzenegger Terminator 2 Judgment Day coffee mug. Remember?
No,
you don't remember that?
No.
And I'm like, okay, whatever. Johnny says he's not seen the Charlie Brown Christmas tree on eBay yet. Tree stolen from the pop itself. He's had a video clip that someone stole the little tree out of the Charlie Brown Christmas pop box.
Of his?
No, it was one in the store.
Oh.
Munin says, any autographs I own are on trading cards. I got them for less than the price of the pack of the cards.
I don't understand.
Yeah,
that.
Well. And Blue Splash says, anyone seen any Trick or Treat Studios killer clowns at Walmart? No.
I don't know, because we don't look. We don't really
Gilgamesh found Gizmo and Beetlejuice and Ben Cooper kids at Target the other day.
Okay.
From NECA.
Oh.
Gonna crank them out with every license they have. They probably are. They probably are. And Robert wants to know if I'd buy Street Sharks. Yeah, I like the figures. But the original figures, I'd love to do the line. They're so freaking expensive.
But somebody else came out with them, and they look basically the same.
It's still Mattel.
Okay, well they look basically
they reissued them. They just changed them a little bit. It looks similar. Blue Splash says it's awesome you guys are watching Street Sharks.
Yes,
awesome. This making me hungry.
You know the one that was funny. It was the we just watched it. I think last week. The guy, he was a singer and he became a shark. Yeah. And he had this long flowing hair, and him and the other guy kept kind of fighting each other. Him and the other shark. I don't know their names, but that one was funny. Street Sharks.
Robert says Playmobil has a Knight Rider. It probably costs as much as the original one.
I don't want no Playmobil.
Those Playmobil licensed sets are expensive. Renard says, do you collect bubblegum card sets from classic TV shows?
Hey, Renard.
I used to have the collection that's gone, but I used to have sealed boxes of cards from like the 60s, 70s, and 80s. Batman and Elvis and Kiss and who was it? Pac-Man, all that kind of stuff. I had the box might have been opened, they weren't still wrapped, but the card packs were all still intact inside those boxes. I used to have a bunch of those. Unit says Jazzware's total anime figure line is out at Target.
I don't know why he telling us that at all.
And Nerd says apparently with Stallone size matters. Maybe.
I don't understand
And
why.
Eric says Howie Mandel was the voice of Gizmo. Yeah, I can hear that because he makes that voice.
Well, he did a lot of cartoon. He did
Yeah.
those kids. I can't remember the name of those kids now, but it was some kind of kids in the 90s on a cartoon. He did the voices.
Johnny says they had photos for you to choose from, talking about Stallone again.
Yeah.
You can send in something, but it is tiered. The larger item that you send in, the more you'll be charged. Guitars, posters, glove, jacket.
Guitars?
3,000.
What do he has to do with guitars?
I don't know. I don't think he plays a guitar.
And what do you mean by send it in?
Because you ain't gonna meet Stallone.
I thought you saw him at the show.
You mail that stuff.
Yeah. How you know you're gonna get your stuff back?
Yeah, guaranteed.
See? Sure it is. So you got to pay for the shipping there and the shipping back.
Yep. And insurance. Johnny says it's a racket. It's how they get money. Larger the item, the more you pay. I admit it's a scam.
I don't know why when that
uncarded reviews. He says I think they price what they sign based on experienced resale or expected resale value. That's what I was suggesting.
I figure that, but good Lord, man, come on.
And Blue Splash said Ollie's has a lot of good Christmas decorations. Was tempted to get some of them. Saw a huge drop on Halloween decorations at Sam's Club.
We didn't hardly see much Halloween decorations this year. Hey, Kay, how are you?
Yeah. He says, I like the idea of getting a signature. Sometimes it's hard to justify the price of the ink. It can be, yeah.
I mean,
it can be hard to justify.
Okay, I'll be honest. Undertaker, yes. I can see myself with a picture of the Undertaker, a poster, or him on a cover of one of the wrestling magazines and having his signature. I can see that, but not for $750.
Yeah,
I can't see spending that much. I guess I can kind of understand if you already have pictures, and then you say, okay, I want you to autograph one of these pictures. They say, okay, pick out a picture. You pick up one, and then you're like, well, that picture's $25 plus another $20 from a signature. Okay. But that's not what's going on. And I know every time we go somewhere, we always see Sergeant Slaughter. He signs a lot of stuff, but we never went over there to see how much he charges. And he'll take a picture with you, like putting you in a choke slam and all kinds of stuff like that.
From what I understand, a photograph, of course, you take a selfie with him, that's a different charge. But to put, if he does like the Cobra clutch on you, there's an additional charge for that photo. Because then he's got to touch you.
Are you being serious or are you just saying some stuff?
I'm serious. That's what I heard.
What's the difference between a selfie and
standing next to me?
Yeah.
Okay, $40. I got to touch you? Man, I need some more money because I don't know where you've been. I don't know. Johnny says, yeah, they're flipping it. They want a piece of your pie before you sell it.
I don't know about all that. I don't care about nobody's signature.
And Robert says, I think it's our fault, people selling the photos that were meant to be for the person, not selling off.
Yeah, I agree with you right there, Robert, because it's like, oh man, let me go get this so I can make some money off of it. And then a
lot of people do that.
Yeah, and then I guess they got wise to like, oh, you making money off of me. I'm not gonna get anything from that.
Yeah.
So let me go ahead and upcharge it so I can get something out of it.
You know what really has jumped that off in the last few years? Comic books and Funko Pops.
I think the signature thing has been going on.
It's been going on longer than that, but I'm talking about like where I've seen the prices just really skyrocketing. Mm-hmm. Comic books, there you go. No. Comic books and Funko Pops, especially with the Pops, because people were deliberately buying them or deliberately getting autographs as a way to retain value on the Pops. And a lot of Pop collectors had said that and even told me that. It was like, yeah, this, while they're sitting there thinking Funko will never die, you want to add an autograph to it to help to retain value. Well, then it's going to die, and then is it really justified? Because the amount that you paid for it, you're not going to get it back. Go on eBay, and how much does it cost to get an autograph from a wrestler, any wrestler? Look on eBay. I bet you it's cheaper than if you were to buy that item and go and get it signed. It doesn't retain the value. Right after the person dies, maybe like
it'll boost up for a minute, then it'll float back
for
down
a month or two, and then it'll bottom out because the market will be flooded. It doesn't hold the value. Johnny wants the signature of me.
Yeah, wearing the crown, but you're gonna charge for that picture.
Display
wants the signature.
Display wants to charge the landlord for the signature on the rent check.
Yeah, I like that one.
And Munin likes the idea of an autograph. Video. Yeah, I have some ideas, some things I wanted to throw out about that, because this seems to be a rash on the community. Uncarded met Lou Ferrigno at Dragon Con. He actually had 2 separate 30-minute conversations with me. Wow. Seems super nice. I think he signed an 8x10 Hulk picture for like 15. How long ago was that? Gilgamesh saw Killer Clowns at Walmart. They look good, but not for 35. Blue Splash says you should watch the Tick cartoon from the 90s. I have seen that cartoon. She has not, but I have. And T. Stewart says Fanatics own all athletes now, every sport, no more free autographs. Shit, no kidding. I know it. And
Bobby's World. That was it.
Yeah.
He was the voices. He did the
Howie
voice on
Mandel.
it. Yeah, Howie Mandel. Had big hands.
Does he? Man hands. Man hands.
It is legit though. All signatures are certified by JSA, but they still rip you off because they want a slice of that resale value, and that's what.
Because it won't sell for that. In the real world, as many of those autographs are floating around, you probably can't get the money back.
I actually thought about that the other day with records, because you sell records like back in the 60s and 70s, and they were $3, and then some of them now are $20, $50, over $100.
Yeah,
but the artist ain't getting a dime. Is the person that sold it is getting that profit. I mean, I guess they already got their profit.
Yeah,
but they're not. And I actually
they already made their deal.
Yeah. I actually thought about that the other day.
DC says the last con they went to, seems the prices were overinflated.
Yeah.
Dealers weren't really interested in negotiating.
No,
and also
they never. No, I can see that.
Sometimes it depends on how much they paid too, because they have a lot of overhead. They have to pay for the table. They have to pay for the transportation.
Yeah.
They have all the time that goes into the setup and breakdown. They may have had to get a hotel. They may have had to pay for fuel
and food,
meals. Yeah, there's a lot involved sometimes, and they might sit there and be like, God, I can't afford to take too many hits here.
They don't need to be going to those shows outside the state.
It depends on how much it costs for them to set up, honestly. Unit says, anyone heard of the review of Venom's Last Dance? It didn't look good to me at all.
It looked good to me.
Yeah, it's because you don't know any better. Oh, by the way, who saw the roundup? Who saw yesterday's roundup video? Because I have a point to make about it. Robert wants, I love to get Mark Hamill, Patrick Stewart, William Shatner, Harrison Ford, but it ain't worth it nowadays.
Nope.
It's so expensive. And Johnny said that really risky putting someone in a headlock or cobra clutch. If someone gets hurt, they would sue him and the convention owners.
No, it ain't like all that.
Yeah, I want to. Yeah, that's what I want to see, is him actually choking people out.
No, he just put his arms around you like this right here, and that's it. Because we saw him do it.
Yeah, he's real easy.
Yeah, he ain't doing nothing.
Plus, it's being watched because he's got his manager there. So if anybody tries to fake out,
transmissions detected.
To fake out like the guy, what is that actor's name that Hulk Hogan did that to? And he actually passed out. He passed out, and when Hulk Hogan let him go, he didn't know he was unconscious. And I can't remember the actor's name.
I don't remember his name, but he played on on
Law and Order,
Law and
something
Order,
like that.
and
He was in
played
a
in
lot
the
of
Flash.
shows.
He
Yeah,
was the news reporter on the '90s Flash.
yeah. But Hogan didn't know he was knocked out, so when he released him, he just dropped and he slammed his head into the floor, and it was actually bleeding. He had blood running down his shirt. Uncarded says, I think they typically charge less for an autograph if it's personalized. I would never just get a signature while having the autograph address me personally.
Yeah.
And Fiddle Chip says he despises comics or anything else with signatures on it. I want the comic like it was on a spinner rack. I don't mind the signature so much if it's properly placed. You know what I don't like on comics is when it's been remarked. When they draw like a little sketch on it.
Yeah.
Unless it's a blank cover, because they make covers for that now. I can understand that. But if they go and they do a sketch over the existing artwork, I don't think it looks right to me.
I don't want you drawing all over the picture, because then I can't see the picture.
Yeah. Robert says we ruin signatures. They used to be free. You both need crowns. It looks nice. LPH. Yes, she does. It looks fitting.
It's hot. Fitting.
Is it? Johnny says Clint Eastwood signatures are the same price as Stallone's.
Wow.
I was going to get an 8x10 with Eastwood, but the tier sold out in seconds.
How you sell
Seriously,
out?
sold out in seconds because he doesn't do autographs often.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess he got a set limit. I'm gonna only do 10.
Oh yeah,
I guess.
There's Mark Franco.
Hey,
He
Mark.
says hello from Cape Cod.
Cape Cod.
That's why I'm glad I'm an artist. I'd rather have a picture or a sign I created myself of said celebrity. No charge on that. And Nerd doesn't need autograph grading.
He said you don't like it.
Oh, okay. Kay says Halloween getting popular again in the U.S. Not really.
No.
Because it's becoming quite popular in Australia. Is it?
Really?
That's interesting.
We didn't see much going on with it this year, like in the stores.
Oh, it's sure as hell not like when we were kids, and like they'd have whole sections of the store dedicated. Now Walmart has like literally 2 aisles. You know.
Now it is a lot of houses around here, and this one house, they got a haunted house or a haunted maze in the front yard leading
they
up
went
to
all
the
out
door.
with it.
Yeah, and that looked cool.
They might be having a party.
Yeah, maybe. But it looks cool. I was like, man, I want to go through that. I mean, they got like this whole like tunnel thing. You can walk through it, but you can tell it's for kids. So a full-size adult might have to bend down, but you walk through it and it leads all the way up to the door.
Yes.
So I'm guessing they got a lot going on in there, and that looks cool. They put a lot of work in it because the whole yard is covered with stuff, and it's a lot of houses decorated this year. And normally around here, you don't see a lot of houses for Halloween, Christmas, all of that. They don't get decorated, but this year, it is for whatever reason. But Halloween, not Halloween, Walmart, they got like two aisles.
Yeah, there's nothing there anymore.
10 years ago. For what?
For the autograph.
The autograph. Yeah.
And Johnny says if you get an autograph personalized, you will pay extra depending on the celebrity.
Mm-hmm.
At conventions, it's up in the air. It depends on the handlers.
But then if you get it personalized, it's harder for you to sell. So it should be cheaper.
Yeah. And Nerd says we, the collecting community, don't need someone else to tell us what we want.
Yeah.
Yeah, no kidding.
Like or what? Yeah, it's worth, right?
Like or what it's worth. And Gilgamesh says he's going to have to make Soundwave my text message alert. Yeah, that's right. She took the crown. It's okay.
Yeah. David is dethroned just for a little while. I'll give it that.
And Fiddle Chip says Stan Lee covered so many faces on comic covers. I like looking at CGC comics that look ridiculous. And Uncarded says Richard Belzer was the guy Hulk Hogan put to sleep. Okay,
that's his name. Yeah,
and he didn't realize he was unconscious, and so when he dropped him, he smacked his head, and he was able to legitimately sue. And I remember reading about that in the book too, because what's his name, Mr. T barely spoke. Because that was, I think it was WrestleMania 3 with Mr. T, and he was like, the guy barely said anything, and then when I choked out dude, then all of a sudden he's going to start running his mouth and yelling, and I'm like, that's what you get, fool, whatever. And I'm like, oh crap, the guy actually fell out. You just shut up, T, seriously. I know that's what he's thinking. Just be quiet, please. While he goes on, and the guys, he got back in character. He got up and he faced the crowd, and he was like, "Well, we'll be right back after these messages." And you could see the blood running down his neck and into his shirt. And he sued. He got over big time in that lawsuit. Blue Splash says, "Is the Big Blue Monster plushie from the 80s hard to find at shows?"
What's a Big Blue Monster?
Big Blue Monster plushie?
Mm.
Are you talking about My Pet Monster? That's very hard to find in any kind of condition now. Unit says the Halloween stuff is already on clearance or gone in my areas. Christmas is already out in full force.
Yeah, the Christmas stuff is inching its way in.
And then there is
hey, Reston.
Reston.
How are you?
What I was talking about, I asked if anybody, I guess they missed it, but if anybody saw the roundup yesterday, and I showed that somebody had redone the product people.
Oh yeah, you showed that.
They had redone the product people, and so I showed a picture of it, and I wasn't quite sure who did those or how much they were. Turns out they range up to $500 a piece, and I'm like,
are you sure that somebody didn't make
sugar.
A mistake? They meant to say $50.
I don't think so. I don't think so. It's like $350 to $500, because there was a couple of people that chimed in on that, and you know, aside that, you know, you're getting into the realm of what it would cost for an original one in box. Maybe not the best condition, but I'm not paying that for a homage, a modern homage to the original product people line. I'm like, God, how do you justify these prices? And that just drives me nuts, because I hate seeing modern action figures that are remakes of vintage figures that actually cost more than if you bought the vintage counterpart. That makes me crazy. And I've talked about that before with the Playmates Ronin Warriors figures. The modern ones cost more than the original ones mint on card. Explain that to me. Or the reissue of Skeleton Warriors.
Yeah.
They came out, I think, 2012. Somebody made a homage reissue of Skeleton Warriors, and they were like $75. You could practically buy the whole carded line of Skeleton Warriors for $75.
You did.
They don't cut. Yeah, I paid less than that. I think it makes me crazy when I see this. It drives me nuts. And like, I understand for Marvel Legends, and they'd like to do those Toy Biz homage figures. They're $26, $27 a pop. I can get the original ones. I see them at shows all the time for like $5, $7 a piece.
Are they adjusting for inflation?
I guess. Blue Splash says, yes, My Pet Monster. They go for quite a bit, and you rarely see anything from that line. And when you do, they're in rough shape, because there's like a vinyl like overlay on the paws and on the feet, and that stuff peels right off. It's like that spray on pleather stuff, and often it's either peeling or missing or sticky, so it's tough to find that in good shape.
Oh, let me do this real quick.
Johnny said, how much for a signed crown photo of David? I want it personalized.
$150.
Gee whiz.
And you can PayPal me.
Kay likes Halloween for nostalgia of old movies and TV shows. Probably would have loved it as a kid, but now as an adult feels too commercial and forced on parents. Fear of their child missing out. I can completely empathize with that. And I like the nostalgia of it as well, but that's dead. It's dead in the modern era. You don't see it anymore. I do have some vintage Halloween items, and I love that stuff, especially the blow mold things. But as far as Halloween, and I never had Halloween as a kid because I wasn't allowed to trick or treat, so I don't have that experience anyways. Display says the product people stuff you showed was remixed by Cause, who is a street artist who makes collectible Sofubies.
That don't mean it should be $300.
That's who it was. I couldn't remember the name.
Hey, David.
Oh, there's David, nostalgic for the 70s. He has a channel.
Yes.
He says, when I was a teenager, I went through the autograph phase. Now as an adult,
He
I would
don't
take
have a
these
channel or
celebrities'
YouTube. He got a
autographs for
Facebook.
free. You do something with Atari, don't you? Correct me if I'm wrong there, David.
Oh, I know he got the
Vintage and Atari 2600 stuff.
Oh,
Remember,
that's why
celebrities are not the characters you like. Many are lowlives. Some are. Some are real bastards. And some are nice. It depends. Fiddle Chip says Batman year comic reprints cost more than if you bought the real thing.
Oh my
year
God.
one.
Year
means.
one. Yeah.
And Robert recently got a Daggett plushie pull string. Oh wow, from Mattel.
That's from that show.
Yeah, from Battlestar
Galactica.
Does it still talk? He says I bought it because I never knew they made it.
Mhm.
I also got Konami Colonial Viper or Konami and the big BSG comic. Yeah. That's a cool item. It's about so big, right? And the talking Daggett, the pull string, they don't always work. Paul agrees on the Skeleton Warriors. It's ridiculous. But I mean, I could come up with a bunch of examples. There's no point. But I have brought that up when we do our roundups. And I'm like, you know what? It'd be cheaper to buy the originals. I'd rather have the vintage ones. I mean, I know the modern Marvel Legends are better articulated.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather have the vintage ones. Munin says in a few short decades, they'll be seeing retro remakes of his original anime figures, probably.
Yeah.
And Reston, what did I miss? LPH has the crown. She stole it.
David took it all.
She stole it from me.
I have a pretty big My Pet Monster collection. I even collect all the bootlegs.
Wow.
I don't think I've ever really seen the My Pet Monster stuff before.
My Pet Monster's pretty
No,
neat.
I don't eat at Dairy Queen.
See, like these.
We don't eat it. We stop eating at Dairy Queen because every time we go there, we get sick.
Yeah, it's like I don't know what the hell is in there. It ain't ice cream.
No,
and it's just not right.
And we went there the last 2 times, and it was different Dairy Queens in different towns, different counties, and we got sick.
Yeah,
so we never ever going back.
It tasted awful. It made my stomach feel like it was full of lead.
So we're never ever going back to Dairy Queen. We go to what's that place we go to for ice cream?
I don't know. Where do we go?
We went somewhere for ice cream, didn't we?
Where do we go? I don't know either.
I know we got a Cold Stone Creamery here.
Yeah.
And we were
I haven't been to Cold
supposed to
Stone in a
go.
while. They were closed.
Oh yeah. They had closed. So we were going to go after the movie, and then he didn't want to go to Baskin Robbins, so we ended up not going anywhere.
Yeah, because Baskin Robbins kind of sucks now. This is my original AJ Renzi pumpkin, blow mold pumpkin. This is the 70s one. See, it's got the embossing on the back there. Trick or treat. Robert says it's kind of worn, but everything works.
That's
okay,
all that matters.
It does work. That's
and
cool.
You got it.
Blue Splash says knockoffs are price of a couple of Hot Toys.
Golly.
Yeah. Some of the
like
bootleg stuff is pretty
lithograph
expensive.
they got on the back here.
The trick or treat little witch. It says "or treat" there.
Yeah.
See, stuff like this I like. I don't like celebrate Halloween, but I appreciate this kind of stuff. Paul says sitting on my Star Trek Next Generation figure is going to be worth big money someday. They were worth big money in the 90s. The Playmate Star Trek was selling like hotcakes. But they that's when Playmates was doing that bit with the serial numbers on the bottom of all of the action figures, and numbers below 10,000 had a different color scheme. And they were carrying a premium up until Playmates dropped Star Trek after the 1701 issue that they had. The 1701 variants, people got pissed off and they gave up the contract. But now, I mean, you find that stuff in bins, like 2 for $5 and stuff. It shows. And I can show you an example of 2 different Playmates. Well, one with a high number and one with a low number, because they did do that. Nostalgic says I don't have any videos on the YouTube channel right now, but I am a member of Atari 5200 podcast and been a guest on a few episodes of the Toy Tomb podcast.
Toy Tomb.
Okay.
I never heard of them. Oh yeah, you never seen Gremlins? It's a lot of those 80s shows that's popular. that everybody's seen that I've never seen. Y'all know all of the ones I've never seen, and I'm okay with that. Gremlins was one of the ones I've never seen. Do you find the Halloween stuff at shows or garage sales, David? We find them at garage sales.
I found all that stuff at garage sales. See, like here's 2 skeleton warriors, and if you notice, there's color variations.
Hold on, I'll come back to you, John.
Yeah, their gem is a different color. One has a painted leg and one doesn't. One has a different colored sword. One has silver on it or gray on his gun, and one gun is plain. This one is the earlier number edition, and this one is the later one. And you see they skimped in the coloring on it. But they did that with a lot of the serial numbered because it's hard to see because it's black on the bottom.
Mhm.
But they both have the serial number stamped, and numbers under a certain number, I think it was 10,000, would have a better color scheme. And they did the same thing with Star Trek and a few other of their lines. And people were paying through the nose for low numbers. The earlier the number, the bigger the price. And then now
It doesn't
they're
matter.
really, nobody cares now. They're not worth that much.
What's the best Comic-Con toy show you've been to? We always have a real good time at Joe Fest
Yeah,
and the Toy Lanta and Joe Lanta.
yeah.
Those are the main ones. Well, the Retro Toy Swap, which comes up 6 times a year, we always have a good time there.
Yeah.
But Joe Fest is always really good. And Joe Lanta, Toy Lanta, we have a good time at those shows. So I would say those. And David, you pulling the thing.
What am I doing?
You pulling the mouse. Okay, I
sorry.
got it.
Just wanted to bring this one out. As
Okay,
well.
David gonna show y'all something.
Hold that for a second. I'll shut the light for you.
It glows.
Yeah, that thing works.
There's a lamp. Oh, look at that.
Yeah, look at that.
This would be cool to do the podcast like this and just have this thing.
Well, people have been asking if we were going to do one on Halloween.
We talked about doing one for Halloween, talking about
Yeah.
Halloween movies. Talking about that. And just the different ones that we've seen, talk about it a little bit. And even maybe songs. Because I looked at a list and it had like a list of Halloween songs. And I'm reading this list and I knew the songs. And I'm like, these songs have nothing to do with Halloween.
Yeah, and this is a Union Products. It's not an AJ Renzi. It's a Union Products. This owl is actually pretty hard to find. I found this at a yard sale. Here, take that for a second.
Okay.
I'll go put the lights back on.
David says he's very tempted to get those X-Men 97 Marvel Legends Sentinels they reveal at New York Comic-Con. How you turn this off? Is the button?
No, the switch is down here.
Video idea: how restaurant chains have turned into crap. We did that already.
Did we?
Yeah, we did do that. Probably about a year or two ago. But we did talk about that one. How your favorite restaurants that you grew up with.
It's
how
just
it's
not
changed.
the same. Yeah.
Yeah.
They used to, especially the ones that used to be really kid friendly, and now that just doesn't even. None of them are. They really no emphasis on trying to attract a family atmosphere through children, with the exception of maybe like Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah, they still around.
Yeah, Chuck E. Cheese is still around, but other ones like Pizza Hut used to be really family oriented. Used to have tabletop video games.
Yeah.
And McDonald's had
Well,
the
all of them
McDonald
did.
Land and the play area.
Yeah, all of
it
those
was a big
fast
deal.
food. And then they used to have the meal prizes and all of that. All of those restaurants, I mean, they would give you the coloring book and the box of crayons. They would have certain nights, either kids ate free or kids ate for $5 or
The
something
appeal
like
was
that.
there. And I didn't have those family nights growing up. We didn't go to restaurants. We didn't go to vacation. We didn't do any of that stuff. But with my kids, actually the big one with us was International House of Pancakes.
IHOP.
Before it was IHOP, but International House of Pancakes, because they had the thing with Wednesdays kids eat free. And so I would I would take them there on Wednesday, and that was just a thing. That was just a thing that we would do, and they really liked that. And they had the kiddie meal with the little everybody always wants the happy face pancakes, and then they get the coloring books and whatever the hell you do there. Just whenever I could, that was just something to do.
My aunt used to take us, all the kids, to Shoney's. I want to say it was either Tuesday or Wednesday night. Kids ate free,
Yeah.
and her and her two daughters, they were older. They would take us all to Shoney's, and we'll eat there, and that was always fun.
Yeah.
Robert had the Atari 5200. He actually liked it. He never knew why it got so much hate.
Well, because it got overshadowed pretty quickly, basically, because that's after the success of the original Atari 2600, then the success of the original 2600, they started back to back. Coleco came out, and then Sega just knocked everybody out, or Nintendo actually, Nintendo, and then Sega knocked Nintendo off.
Because, I had a Nintendo.
Yeah, and to this day though, the Sega Genesis and the Nintendo NES are still my favorite operating systems. Fiddle Tip said starting lineup, Power of the Force, Star Trek from Playmates lines everyone thought were money in the bank. Yeah, no kidding. They cranked out so much of it though. Frank and Frog wants you to see Gremlins. And Gremlins 2, you can see Hulk Hogan.
Oh, he was in it?
Yeah, a small part. Johnny says, saw the museum video yesterday. Hope you continue getting the other Rambo figures. How many do you have? Like 5, I think. 6. But one of them is an Argentinian variant. It's, it's Troutman, but with a dark tan.
Yeah.
On a yellow card.
Oh, okay. Hold on. Got some side conversation.
Yeah.
Great blow mold.
Yeah, the owl's fantastic. I love that owl. And I found it at a yard sale for like $5. And if it was on, I never would have got it if it was just off eBay, because man, that sucker's expensive.
I know. Yeah. David said he would pay admission to see our collection if he lived in the U.S.
Oh, it's $1,000 for 10 minutes.
Wow, God.
American dollars, David. But
no, we haven't picked up any new comics lately. No. I haven't gotten a comic book. Oh no, that's a lie.
What did you get? You fibbing to people.
Yeah, because I totally forgot. But I showed it already. But you probably didn't see it because it was during the hurricane. The
stuff you got from
Joe Lanta.
Is it still sitting there?
I don't know.
I'll look. I can look real quick.
Yeah, because I don't think I showed it to any of you guys. I think we did.
That's right here.
Yeah, okay.
You know where you showed it?
On the haul video.
Well, yeah.
On Alan's video, because we were on Alan's channel, Comic Collector Geek, and I showed him. So I did. I got some comics. I'll show you the comics. Hold on.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm almost finished with my Werewolf by Night.
Yes.
I think with the ones I'm about to show you now, I think I need like 2 or 3. Yeah. I know I need number 1, which I'm gonna have to buy a facsimile of that.
Maybe somebody will send you one.
Yeah, okay. Shoot.
Here you are. Mm-hmm. That would be great.
But I'm almost done with this run. I like to read runs that I have complete, because you read and then you're like,
gaps will screw you up.
Yeah. Now I love my this is the girl right here got on the cement on the
cement
foot.
overshoes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they throwing her in the river.
Bye.
They don't need her.
Should have kept her mouth shut.
Yeah. See no evil, hear no evil.
Yeah.
So I got a bunch of crime books.
A whole $100 reward.
Yeah. I got a bunch of crime books. Yeah. I like reading the crime stories. They're actually pretty good when you read it. This guy right here, he got shot in the arm.
And that cop's about to
knock him upside his head.
Yeah.
Got this one.
Real Clue.
Yeah. It's a real clue. This one is a good one.
Yeah. The guy's running on the wall,
Yeah.
trying to escape.
One of them are going to fall over on the side, over the side. And this is the best one. You know, I love my suicide. Well, I don't think this is suicide, but you know, I love that
Yeah,
kind of
he
cover.
hung that guy.
Yeah, and now he hiding from the police, but he gonna get caught. We all know it. So those are the ones that I've gotten. No, and before that, I haven't gotten comics in months.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just haven't even been looking on eBay or nowhere. I just haven't been looking.
And Johnny
hit
wants
that
us to
thumbs
hit
up.
thumbs up. Yeah, please do if
Yay.
you don't mind. John says the Howling Owl reminds me of how I looked when they gave me barium to light up my colon. Oh, shame on you. That stuff will make you sick. Kay says issue is even if you went to get the places that are family friendly, everyone is on their phone,
Yes.
not bonding. Yeah, thank you. That's
Yeah.
true. Even the toddlers.
Yeah.
That's a huge pet peeve of mine is little kids glued to a damn phone. And then the argument is, well, how do you expect me to keep them under control? Like you see the kids in the supermarket and they're 3 and they're like this. How did we do it?
Mm-hmm.
You know, how did we do it? How do we keep the kids from like acting stupid?
You pop them a couple times. I mean, I know people don't like doing that, but it actually worked. I mean, we didn't have cell phones and all that stuff, and that's probably why the restaurant stopped giving out all of the coloring books and the crayons.
Yeah, there's no point.
Yeah, it's like why they're not gonna do nothing with it.
And that was something that got me about the last time because on our anniversary we went to Hibachi.
Yeah.
And it was jammed.
God, it was packed.
It was packed. It was because there was 4 grills going with 2 people at each grill or 2 cooks. So that's 8 grills.
It was more than that because that room had 6.
Yeah, okay.
It's 6 with 2 sides. So one whole grill, one whole seating area has 2 grills.
It had 10 people on each side, so that's 20 per section.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, and it was packed, and everybody had a phone.
They weren't even doing the show. They weren't even doing the show because there's no point. No one's looking.
No one's watching.
Even the children, everybody, not only on the phone. This is what gets me about it, right? Because and also I'm one of those people that thinks you should take your hat off when you're in a restaurant. Hats are still on. Hoodies are still up. You know, and it's warm out. People wearing hoodies.
Yeah,
and
hot.
The phone is laying on the table, and they're bent over. They're hunched over, looking down at the phone, just bent down.
You know they can't see
looking
you, right?
at the phone. Well, whatever. But I mean, they're hunched.
Yeah.
They're the phone's laying on the table, and they're bent over, looking at it.
And then the guy next to us, he's watching like a football game.
Yeah.
It's like you watching football on the cell phone.
And I don't know. It was frustrating to me to see that change, that change in society. There's no interaction going on. You can hear it's a lot of background noise. There's a lot of ambient sound, but it's all the phones. People aren't talking.
No.
Yeah, I was like, God, what the hell has happened to us?
Because when we go to the phone, we take the phone. Both our phones. When we go to the restaurant,
we just set them aside.
Yeah, we set it over there in the corner, and we don't touch it no more. You sit and you talk. If you don't have nothing to say, you sit there.
Yeah, and we sit. We always sit next to each other, and we always interact.
But that is annoying. You go to these restaurants, and people and it's no talking, no interaction, no nothing. And it's like, oh, we having family time. How are you having family time if you're not interacting?
No.
Just because you're each other's presence or each other's space doesn't mean anything.
No.
Never ordered anything but the original pancake as a kid. I thought the fruit and the whipped cream were too girly.
Oh, shame on you. And Andorian, he says, was your family super religious? I went to Hobby Lobby today and no Halloween stuff there because of Ona's religion.
Yeah.
She was not religious.
Mine was. My mama didn't like me going trick-or-treating at all.
No, my mother, that's just it's a long story. She was not a nice person at all. If I got going for real, I'd lose everybody because they wouldn't believe the stories I would tell.
He done told it like 100 times. He tells bits and pieces, but it's so
she
depressing.
Was pretty cruel. She was pretty cruel. That was just part of it. But it wasn't real. I wish it was a religious thing.
Yeah, my mom was real religious, and now we are. You know, we really practice up our stuff. So
yeah, but I mean, I collect the stuff because it's nostalgic.
Yeah,
to
we
me,
collect it, but we're not putting nothing outside.
I appreciate the art of it. And he said, Munin wants to know if we finished Ninja Scroll.
No. We just got past the guy that had that parasite in the stomach. Yeah, that was the last one we watched on Friday, I think. Friday or Thursday. One of them days we watched it this week because we watch 2 episodes a week. So, it's going to take us a minute. So don't always ask us what show we on now because we're going to watch 2 episodes.
Half-hour shows, we never binge.
No.
Half-hour shows, we might watch twice. 1-hour shows once.
Yeah. In a week. And Ninja Scroll is kind of violent because I was sitting there. I'm like, man, I don't think I'm gonna watch this no more. But
there's worse.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Like Devilman.
But I do like it though. It's kind of hard for me to figure out what's going on. But the last 2 episodes we watched though did explain a lot because, like I said, the one guy that had the parasite in the stomach, he explained a lot about what was going on. And then the girl that's the tree, she explained what was going on.
Yeah.
So they both gave like their sides of the story. And then I'm kind of putting it together so that girl, whoever she is, the one they're carrying around, she's like the queen or whatever, and she don't want to be. And now they're like, what do you mean you're not going to be the head of our clan or whatever? So I don't know, whatever. That's where we are now though. Okay. But the guy with the parasite in the stomach, Ube or whatever his name is, killed the parasite. So he thought he was free, but then he died because he was the actual parasite. And
or it had been attached to him for so long. Yeah, he just couldn't function anymore.
Yeah, because it got attached when he was a kid.
Johnny says when he finishes Rambo, he's going to finish Gru, the comics collection. Okay. Sergio Aragones. Gru.
I've seen that comic before. I've never read it though. Great covers. Thank you, Robert. Golden Age Crime comics have so much flavor.
All that stuff does.
I can't wait to start reading it. Right now, I am reading my EC comics. Mm-hmm. So, I have like the Haunt of Fear, Tales from the Crypt, and all of that. So I'm on Crime and Suspense, right? Yeah, Crime and Suspense. So I just got a bunch of EC. I don't have like a whole run. I just got a lot of them. And right now I'm on Crimes and Suspense stories. So that's what I'm reading now. Would love to get the Bubblegum Crisis figures. Really? I never heard of that.
Anime.
Okay. They're pricey though. Seems like a series that would do well with modern reboot.
Perhaps.
Thank you, Stone Sour. See, now that $2.
Yeah.
See what it says right there? It's for me.
Oh no.
Not them weird cats.
Hey, I talked about the cats before you came in.
Good. But, now I don't have to hear it.
Oh no, because I got I captured, for those of you who are coming in late, I finally got a service. I have been having the hardest time out here for some reason, but I finally got a service and they came out and I caught 11 of them yesterday.
Yeah.
And caged them and put them up. And I got all the pictures of them in the cages and everything. And I'll do a whole separate video on it maybe.
Yeah.
But 11 out of 12 that needed neutering and vaccination.
That 12th one, he caught wind quick. He was like, I ain't stupid.
Yeah.
I'm not falling for your tricks.
But it was nice actually, the feedback that I got from it, because the woman who came out, she was like, I've been doing this for 20 years and this is the fastest pickup turnaround I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Usually it takes sometimes days and I got 11 in 30 minutes.
Because we
Literally.
know the cats,
Yeah.
they come on the porch, we
Yeah. They
interact with
trust
them,
me.
touch them, and
And
pick them
most
up
of them
and
I
all
was
that.
able to pick up and put in the cage
Mhm.
and then carry it out. And he was like, "You got another one already?"
Yeah.
I was like, "Yeah," because we set the traps and wait days sometimes, and it's like,
Mhm.
no, one after the other, bang, bang, bang,
Yeah.
except for that one last one.
Yeah.
So yeah, we need all the help we can get because it needed to get done, or else I'd end up with 50 in the backwoods. And
Yeah.
and it would just be cruel. I can't support it. I
Yeah.
can't help them all.
She's bringing them back. They're only taking them to get fixed, which is good.
And vaxxed.
Yeah,
I think, yeah.
vaccines and
Yeah.
to get them fixed, so they'll get chopped up.
But they're coming
But
back.
then they'll come back, and that's
But,
fine. But yeah, to have more, whoa. I mean, we already got 18.
Yeah, and then she remarked that they were really healthy looking.
Yes.
Usually they're scabby and sickly
Not these cats.
and just emaciated. And she was like, "Wow, these are healthy. They're in good
Well, all they
condition."
eat is chicken and pork.
But I mean,
What do you
expect?
I
I do try to take good care of them, and I do interact with them, which is why they trusted me enough. They're going to be mad at me now.
Yeah.
But
they eat better than some people. I'm serious, because they eat chicken. They
if I
eat
get
pork.
leftover actual meat,
yeah,
I will give it to them.
And then like my mama get food from the pantry, so you have pork in there and some chicken.
Yeah.
And they eat that.
That we're not going to eat. And I'll boil it and cut it up for them. And they love it.
So
yeah, they're really well cared for. And I had all the pictures on here.
Yeah.
I know Johnny really liked the one that I called Pirate. The the one that has the let me see.
Oh my God! Now he like a mama, like how women with their kids.
See, oh, babies. That's a kitten. That's a girl, right? And then that's an adult male. I call him Sugar, and he's looking like, the hell are you people doing to me?
He looks fine.
He looks like he's like, I'm gonna get you. That's what he looks like. He want revenge. That one I called Junior. See them all in little cages laying on the newspaper. That's the feral mama. I'm surprised I got her because she won't let me touch her, but I got her. That's the one who started it with all the kittens.
She the one that have all them babies.
That's one of the little boys, one of the twins, because there's two that look like that. I think that's Junior. Not Junior. Monkey, the one that was burned. That's Pirate. She's cute as hell.
Why is that a pirate?
Because her face, it looks like a little skull.
Oh.
It's like, let me see if I can open that up. So you get me going now.
People don't want to see them pictures.
They don't. Look at that face. Look at that putum. But you see how her nostrils are black?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like a little skull. She's actually very, very friendly. Is it working?
No.
Yes, it is. There's another female. I got everybody though, all but one. That's that one male that I call Speck. He's scary as hell.
He's gonna be real scared now.
Another female.
Oh, that's a female?
No, that's not a female. That's Porky. His nose is all scratched up. Yeah, he is actually. And that's the twin. And I'm missing one. And there they all were on the back porch there. Except for old Dad. There's Dad. And Hobo's down there. You can't see him though, because somebody asked about Hobo, because Hobo's the one that doesn't have teeth.
Some of the classic cereals that I wish would come back are Sir Great Fellow and Punched Crunch. Which classic cereals
I don't
would you
remember
like
that one. Maybe Freakies. I had a box of Freakies once when I was a kid, and I remember having it. That's all. And I had a box of Blueberry once, and everything else, my entire childhood, was store brand cornflakes or store brand Rice Krispies.
We never ate store brand nothing.
And so it was either that with powdered milk because she wouldn't buy regular milk. It was powdered milk, which I don't know if you ever tried to mix powdered milk by hand.
I've had powdered milk.
And it's called powdered milk for a reason. So you have basically water with white clumps in it
Yeah.
for your
You got to
cereal.
shake it up good.
Yeah, well.
How have kids been controlled for thousands of years?
Without
No
cell phones, says Johnny.
For thousands until 30 years ago. Now nobody can control their kids.
Now you can't control adults either.
He's checking those fantasy points on his phone.
Who, me?
No, the guy in the restaurant at the hibachi grill.
Maybe he thinks he's going to win that 100-1. Gilgamesh says, I don't take my phone in. I used to not even take it out of the house till one time my tire exploded and I was stuck walking down the road. I can understand that.
I take it, but I put it to the side.
Johnny says he can't remember where or what place it was, but he remembers going to a place that had no menus, and they told me the menu was on the app. Oh God, no.
I've seen that. They're doing that at Smoothie King now. At Smoothie King.
I don't even want to do that. I would leave. Honestly, I think I would leave. I think I would walk out. I'd be like, you know what? I wouldn't
do it because now you got to download this stupid app on the phone, and you probably got to pay for it. And I don't use apps to pay for stuff.
It's bad enough a lot of these places have replaced everybody with kiosks like Steak and Shake. There's no one in the Steak and Shake.
Yeah.
You go to a kiosk, you go and sit down, they call your name, and it's in the window. And they still ask for a gratuity. They still want a damn tip. And it's like, for what? There's nobody here.
Yeah, nobody did nothing.
Fiddle Chip says family time is needed for bonding. It also teaches you how to be human. You're supposed to watch and learn. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Nerd says he loves Halloween. He loves being scared. Gilgamesh says best Halloween stuff they've seen is at Tractor Supply.
Really?
They have a giant chicken skeletons. I'm going to get one and put it in the middle of the chicken pen.
Oh my God, that just scared the chickens to death. You probably won't get eggs for months.
They won't notice the difference. It's just something else to stand on.
I guess.
Blue Splash likes restaurants that have jukeboxes with nostalgic music in there, obviously.
Like Waffle House is the only restaurant I can think of that has a
jukebox, and it's digital.
Yeah.
And Johnny wants to meet Sergio Aragones. He is still alive. He only goes to the LA Comic Con, and I'm not flying to meet one person. Mutant says, come on, the kittens are cute. I wouldn't let them near the collection, though.
No, they don't. They don't come around.
And Frankenfrog says, Pirate is a cute cat. She is adorable. And there's very long hair. I mean, her fur is like that long. It's crazy. She's like a little ball of fluff. Johnny says he's sorry, but Pirate is cute with the black nostrils and white triangle forehead. See? You're outvoted. Gilgamesh says, Otaku for life.
Who is that?
I don't know.
Oh, I think that's the guy on Ninja Scroll.
Maybe. Johnny says he saw a sealed box of Mr. T's cereal in an antique store for $300.
We saw a sealed box. It wasn't sealed. It was the Batman cereal that didn't have cereal. They stuffed it with something and rewrapped it.
Yes.
Was that an antique mall, I think?
Was it an antique mall?
I think it was the antique mall.
I know what you're talking about, though. I remember seeing that. Robert says, I'm surprised you still like cereal since you ate it with powdered milk.
I know, right?
Well, I mean, when you eat it as an adult with actual milk, you get a better appreciation.
All right, Kate, thank you for stopping by.
Glad you could join us.
Yeah.
When you eat it as an adult with real milk, you can gain an appreciation for it. He says, I can imagine someone using a window breaker that they use on car windows for McDonald's kiosks. It's frustrating. I don't like the direction. Gilgamesh was at Hooters, and that happened to him. No menus. They had a QR code on the table, and they looked at me like I was weird for not having my phone to scan it. What are you doing in Hooters?
Getting the chicken wings.
I was in Hooters one time. It was not, the food wasn't, I didn't think the food was good.
They still got a Hooters around here.
Yeah.
It's down the street. I've never been in Hooters. People say the food is bad.
Johnny says last time they were at the airport, they went to Burger King for breakfast. They forced me to order from the kiosk instead of a real person checker, even though they had plenty of people to take the order. You could have fasted for the day. And Retro Style says, how is the jukebox? Did you get it up and running? No, I got to get it into the house.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Yeah.
ask somebody from.
I need to get it in the house, and we can't get it. There's a set of stairs. We
Yeah.
can't get it up the stairs by ourselves because it's just too bulky.
Yeah, so I'm gonna ask 2 guys from work to come and help.
Because I'm not exaggerating, it is like over 400 pounds.
Yeah, it's a big
It's
old 19 no
it's an 80s. It's a
80s.
late 80s box.
Yeah, but it's heavy.
It's designed for like pizza shops and places. So it's designed so if somebody beats on it, they can't hurt it.
Hey, Uncle Joe.
So it's pretty solid. Well, Uncle Joe, he says, hope you're having a good night. Absolutely.
We are.
If we're together, we're having a good night.
I only ever eat cereal dry.
Really?
Wow. I keep a bag in the fridge to say, okay.
Well, some people like that.
Some cereals I can eat dry.
Yeah.
Like
Captain Crunch.
Captain Crunch you can eat dry. What's the fruity pebble? No, not pebbles. The Fruit Loops.
Fruit Loops.
I can eat
you could
Fruit
probably
Loops
eat Trix
dry.
dry then because Trix and Fruit Loops are basically the same
never
thing.
had Trix before. But I've had Fruit Loops and I do like Fruit Loops dry. Captain Crunch I can eat dry.
Yeah.
I think those are the only ones I've ever eaten.
See, when
dry.
I got older and I moved out of the house,
Uh-huh.
I experimented with all kinds of stuff like that I never had growing up. So I ate a bunch of cereals and a bunch of other things that I never got to enjoy when I was a kid.
We got to eat a lot of different things.
And no powdered milk.
The only thing I didn't eat as a child that I like now is Captain Crunch and Munch. Because I used to eat Cracker Jacks. So I never ate Crunch and Munch. So as
Cracker Jack's gone downhill. It tastes awful now.
It doesn't taste awful now. But Crunch and Munch I still like. I still like Cracker Jack. I still like both of them.
You know what was good? Poppycock.
I don't know what that is.
It's like Crunch and Munch, but it's got more nuts, like real nuts, not like peanuts.
Is it like Fiddle Faddle?
Yeah, but I mean, it's got like pecans and cashews and real nuts in it.
Oh,
that's good. I like that.
That's too much.
Austin wanted to know if we heard about the E. coli break in the Quarter Pounders. I did hear that.
I don't eat. I used to eat Quarter Pounder, but I don't.
I heard some 1,500 people got sick.
Oh wow. I hope they be all right.
Uncle Joe wants to know if we're talking about cereal. They just finished a bowl of Special K with strawberries. There you go.
Yeah, we were talking about bitches cereal. Somebody was asking about cereals, and that's what we were talking about. The different cereals, but I only eat now about 2 different ones. I still eat Captain Crunch and Frosted Flakes.
Yeah.
But I don't eat it too often because I eat too much at once.
Those are 2 that really haven't changed much.
Yeah.
You know, because sometimes you go back and you eat it and you're like, what the hell happened? Like I could eat honeycomb. I like the honeycomb.
I never had that before.
Alphabets.
I used to eat Alphabet, but I don't know the last time I had any. So I would be afraid to even try it now.
They're basically the same thing. They're just shaped different.
Right.
Gilgamesh says, unless you want to count things like Testament of Sister New Devil in the case, I've seen it a lot. I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know what that means.
Unless he's talking to someone else there.
Probably. Do you eat Monster cereal?
No.
I've never had any of the Monster cereal.
I had Blueberry once when I was a kid, and I don't think I had any as an adult.
Yeah, David's childhood stories is very depressing. You know, you got to be ready for it.
I guess.
I like to mix cereal with vanilla ice cream.
I can see that as a topping, maybe, or something.
I think if you go to Dairy Queen, you can get some cereals as your topping, I believe, because they have, they got like when you get your ice creams, you can get the different toppings. I think cereal is one of them, like I like a Fruit Loop or something like that.
Yeah.
I have grape nuts.
Grape nuts. Oh, gravel nuts.
I know gravel nuts.
That is crunchy.
Jack in the Box in the 90s got a huge trouble for E. coli.
And that's how it started, says Johnny. Fiddle Chip says they did Special K once, you being the cereal. Okay. They're talking about the cereal.
I just had Burger King. What's this about E. coli stuff?
Yeah, there was some outbreak in one of the restaurants. I forget, but I did see it. Oh, McNichol likes Cocoa
Cocoa,
Puffs.
Cocoa for Cocoa
Okay,
Puffs.
Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. With what's the bird's name? Sunny from Cocoa
Yeah.
Puffs. Johnny says, Andre says honeycomb is big. Yeah. That's right. Andre the Giant was in one of the honeycomb commercials.
You know, they redid the what's the one with Mikey? He likes it. They redid
Life cereal.
Life cereal.
Mhm.
They brought that back with a family and Mikey. And the kids woke up in the morning and they went downstairs and had some cereal. And the other two kids were watching the boy and he ate it and it was like, he likes it, Mikey likes it. And like then they sang a little song and it was like, I mean, it was dumb, but it was reminiscent of old commercials when it
Yes.
told a full story and it told you what you were looking at instead of like these modern commercials and you're sitting there like, what are you trying to sell me? What are you telling me? Because you have no idea. Sometimes these commercials come on and you don't even know what they're selling.
Yeah.
It's like, what was that commercial even about?
And that's been going on for a while. They even made fun of it in an episode of The Simpsons.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, because when Homer was driving the snowplow for extra money, and he was Mr. Plow, and he did a commercial for it, but he couldn't afford a good one, so it was the very last thing to air before the network went off. You remember back in the day when networks used to end at a certain time in the evening and they'd go off for like 3 or 4 hours for station identification. And it was some artsy thing where this man is standing there with a snow globe and there's like a plow truck in the middle of the snow globe and some kind of weird thing like that, and with some music. And then it goes off and he was like, wait a minute, was that the commercial? What is this? And yeah, sometimes they do that. You don't know what the hell they're talking about.
Yeah. And I'm like, I don't know if I want that. And then we were watching game shows today, and all of the game shows had the original commercials in it. And it was just so refreshing to not see
medication,
prescription, insurance, politics.
Yeah, no more political commercials, please.
Yeah. Well, you know, it is election year.
Even when it was an election back in the day, you didn't see that much advertising.
You're right about that.
And also, when you watch, and you know, I've done commercial blocks.
Yeah.
When you watch the old shows, if a commercial has a sponsor that repeats, it's not the same ad.
Yeah.
Like if you watched the movie of the week on ABC and it was Christmas time and they had 3 Pillsbury Doughboy commercials, they would be 3 different commercials, not the same one over and over, and especially not back to back.
Yeah.
And they do that now. You watch the same commercial 4 or 5 times in a break and it's like, what the hell?
Yeah.
You know? They beat you to death with it. Back then you didn't see the commercials as often because they made multiples and so that you wouldn't see repeats that often.
You know what I always think about when I see them old commercials? If they were to play those exact same commercials now, the prices probably will go up. I mean, the sales probably will go up because people are like, oh yeah, I want that. I know what that is. I know what that does.
And some of them
something
are
I need.
generic enough that, you know, it would still apply to certain products.
Yeah.
Like any of the old Coke or Pepsi commercials or anything like that.
Except for that one Coke commercial we saw today. I don't know what the heck they was talking about. That was kind of creepy, actually. I don't know.
And Dorian didn't like staying at people's houses that had healthy cereals.
I don't like staying at people's house, period. I ain't like staying at people's house when I was a kid. I don't like staying at people's house now. I like to go by your house, sit down for a minute, and leave.
Yeah.
I don't want to spend the night.
You don't know what's creeping around in the house. You wake up with some mice.
Oh, God. I have to get up and leave that second.
Oh, no. Gilgamesh has seen Pebbles cereal being used as a topping of ice cream. Legends reminds us it's McDonald's that had the E. coli outbreak and other chains are using it to their advantage. Johnny is happy it's the season for pumpkin spice, and he likes pumpkin spice Cheerios.
That's a thing?
I don't know.
Johnny says it is.
Uncle Joe, huge Godzilla collector.
Hey, you see all those Godzillas back there?
That's what he's saying. Love seeing the Shogun, Dormai, and Imperial in the background. That's
So
right.
he know the names of
Yeah,
them.
he knows who they are. I've got some Imperials, and I've got a Dormai over there in the corner, and all 3 versions of the Mattel Shogun Warriors Godzilla there.
To me, there. Oh, my zinger.
She does. If she sees any Shogun Warrior, she's like, "Isn't that one of those Mazingers?" Like, yeah, you know, only one of them's actually Mazinger, right?
Yep. But when I see it, it's my zinger.
That's okay. I'm not mad at you.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I love old school Godzilla. I used to watch Creature Double Feature and watch the old 50s and 60s and 70s Godzilla films on Saturday afternoons.
We were watching Wonder Woman this week, and they had the Christmas episode, and the guy had 3 one of those Mazingers in the store, 3 different ones.
Yeah, he had Raydeen, Mazinger, and he had Dragon, and all 3 were version 1 of those from the Mattel Shogun Warriors line, out of the box.
Yeah,
and he actually,
because it was a toy store.
It was a toy store, and she was talking to the guy, and he actually even picked up Dragon and brought it over, and he was like, "Well, what do you think of this one?" And she was like, "Well, no, that's not quite what I'm looking for." And I just thought it was interesting that those were in there.
Yeah. Cinnamon Life cereal is Johnny's favorite. I hope not in Florida, or I'm in trouble. It's all of them. So just don't go there.
McDonald's ain't good for you anyways.
No.
John says Jack in the Box wasn't in trouble for E. coli in the 90s, but in the early 80s too, for using kangaroo meat on their burgers. I don't remember that.
I heard that somebody was using ostrich meat.
I don't remember that. I don't remember anything like that. JC says their mother would give them bran flakes. They were regular.
It kept them good. It kept you good and cleaned out.
Frankenfrog wants honeycomb. It says me want honeycomb. And Johnny heard about kangaroo meat. I never heard that one.
I think I heard about that one and the ostrich meat.
And Blue Splash likes Cinnamon Toast Crunch and Golden Grams, thought they were addictive. And Blue Splash says Boar's Head meat had listeria for a while.
Oh, yeah?
There's bad packaging practices, really. Johnny says, what's your favorite game show as a child? Mine was Tic-Tac-Toe. Remember the dragon at the finale game. Tic-Tac-Toe.
I remember that.
When I was a kid, probably The Price is Right with Bob Barker. Not Bob Barker.
Yeah, Bob Barker.
Oh, it is Bob Barker. The Price is Right. I'd watch that sometime.
I used to like Concentration. I always like Concentration because I like the puzzles.
Who, Jack Nar? Or no, you had Alex Trebek.
I always liked the puzzles and trying to figure out. As a kid, I couldn't figure it out. But now watching it, I can figure those puzzles out pretty quick.
Yeah.
They're pretty good.
Munin says there really are too many medical commercials. It's every channel. Are people really that unhealthy? No, but they're hypochondriacs.
Yeah.
And they're being exploited. And the United States and New Zealand are the only 2 countries in the world, look it up, I'm not kidding, that allow commercial advertising of behind-the-counter medication, of prescription drugs. They're the only 2 countries in the world that allow it, and it's because of lobbyists influencing politicians, because it's illegal everywhere else in the world, and it used to be illegal in the U.S. and New Zealand. It need to be
illegal again.
It should be, because it's misleading. People are hypochondriacs. They'll go to the doctor. They ask for drugs. The doctor don't even know what the hell they are either. Do you think these doctors know what all these medications are? They have no freaking clue.
And then in the commercial, they tell you what all of the symptoms are, so you can go and lie and say, yeah, I got this symptom, I got that symptom. And sometimes it's hard to know. I mean, you got explosive diarrhea. How are you going to know that? You know what I mean? By going to the doctor.
Yeah.
All they can go by is what you tell them.
Yeah.
So I miss commercials with the jingles. I do too. The jingles used to be good. It told you about the thing.
And Fiddle Chip says influencers sell product. It's a different world. I couldn't do it. I couldn't in being an influencer myself. But I guess I don't have that huge of a channel, but I don't think I would want to do it unless it was something I actually used.
Yeah.
It just seems unethical.
Yeah, you got to actually use it and then like it.
Yeah.
I
If
mean,
it,
sometimes you'll use something you're like, "Oh, I don't like this. I wouldn't recommend this to anybody, you know."
yeah.
But I mean, do those people actually use that stuff?
Who knows?
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm pretty sure that Samuel L. Jackson doesn't actually use a Capital One card. But
You don't know that.
yeah, I
Maybe he
bet you his
does.
ain't the same card you got if
No,
that's the case.
no.
Munin says what goes on with McDonald's is another reason not to eat fast food. I've not eaten fast food since my early teens. One of my
Wow.
best decisions.
I wish I could do
There
that.
you go.
I don't eat it that often though.
Yeah, like once every few months.
Yeah. And then if we go to McDonald's, we only get fries.
Mm-hmm. Uncle Joe says, have you thought about picking up Shogun Warriors Rodan? I know David has mentioned being a big fan of the line. I would like to, but man, that one is expensive intact.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's real expensive to find intact. I see it every once in a while, and I'm like, I'm in a show, and I'm like, I can't pay $2,000 for that thing loose, you know.
Oh yeah. I thought it closed a couple of weeks ago up in New York. I think it was
no
New
more
York
blue
or New
light
Jersey.
special.
Yeah.
A moment of silence, Johnny says.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Grammys. She has the shirt.
Yeah. What's the name of the darn show? I can't think of it now. It's not Whammy.
Press Your Luck.
Press Your Luck.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And Gilgamesh says Fuddruckers had ostrich, bison, and a couple of other things for a while.
Oh, did they?
Mm-hmm.
I liked them when they first opened. Now they're just a burger joint. When they first opened, you could do more things with making your own burger. You know, they would cook the meat and just provide you with the meat, and then all of the condiments were on a buffet.
Yeah.
But I went back there. Ooh, it's been a couple of years now. They kind of took a lot of that away. I mean, you know, they still provide let you put on your own ketchup and mustard and all of that.
Gee,
but
thanks.
yeah, it wasn't the same. Yeah, Bob Barker and Johnny Olsen.
Yep. And then Munin says, forgot about Kmart. All the stores closed in their state years back. Sad indeed. They had some cool Star Wars exclusives back in the day. Yeah, they did.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, they did. I think they did some of those 3-packs, didn't they? Frankenfrog,
we
if
don't.
you have Simpsons Treehouse of Horror Burger King toys. No.
No
Simpsons merchandise, I don't think.
Neither one of us do.
Playmates had an extensive action
figure
line.
You see them sometimes when we go to shows.
They don't sell for a lot, but there's a lot of it.
Yeah, and sometimes we see them at shows, and a lot of times when you do see them, it's like the person got all of them. It's never like onesie twosies. It's like the whole line, and you'll see them every so often. I have a relative who is doing Ozempic. Said it works.
Blue Splash says.
I
don't trust none of that stuff though.
It was so weird. My mom had got sick a few months back, and she was in the emergency room. And the emergency room was not private at all. It was like this room, like the length of this room, and it just had like curtains for each bed.
Sure.
So the person in the bed next to her had an obstructed bowel, and the daughter, every time the doctor come in there, the daughter's like, she's taking Ozempic. Do you think that's what's causing this?
Because that's one of the possible side effects.
And the doctor is like, well, I'm not sure, but your mom really needs to go in and have surgery to clear her obstruction. Well, I mean, and that's all the girl would say. She's on Ozempic. She's on Ozempic.
Mm-hmm.
And they wanted her, they're like, look, you need to make a decision. You really need to have this surgery tonight. I called the surgeon. He's on his way in. Some time passed. The surgeon came in. He was like, okay, I looked at everything. It is severe. You need to have this. The doctor's like, well, she's on Ozempic. That's all she would say. She's on Ozempic. She's on Ozempic.
Can you imagine having being so constipated you need surgery?
Mm-hmm.
That's scary.
That lady needed it, and I mean everybody came in there and was like, because like the ER doc came in, he saw that it was severe. He was like, well, I'm going to call a gastroenterologist, and then that guy came in and was like, yeah, it's bad. You need to make a decision within the next 12 hours, but you really need to go right now in the surgery. And the daughter want to know if it's Ozempic. And how long is she going to be down? And
She
blah,
wants to know
blah,
who to sue.
blah.
That's what it is.
And I was just like,
Because
oh,
and the doctor's not going to confirm that because they
Yeah.
don't want to be a witness to nothing.
No.
So, but if somebody suggests it, she's going to call up the attorney and say, "Hey, man, my mom had a side effect from this crap."
Did you see Crunchyroll said they're exploring shorter length anime because people today have a hard time focusing on one thing? Wow.
For 23 minutes. I had not heard that, Gilgamesh.
No.
It doesn't surprise me,
No.
but then these are the same people that'll binge like 50 episodes.
But you know what? I'm glad you said that because it reminded me 2 conversations I had this week. It's me and 2 other people at work. We always talk about movies we've seen, and they always ask me, "Hey, what's a good movie to watch?" Because I watch a lot of old stuff, and they know I watch old movies. But we all watched The Joker, and I asked both of them at different times, "What ending did you see?" I don't know. I'm like, how can you watch the movie and not know what ending? One guy, he remembered his ending. The other guy, I was like, how did you like the part with what's his name? The puddles in the thing. Oh yeah, that was good. I don't really remember that part. Well, I was like, well, what ending did you get? I don't remember the ending. And I'm like, how can you not remember the ending if you saw the movie? It's like, okay.
Because they weren't paying attention. John's making a joke.
Okay.
Talking about his coupon for 50 cents.
50-cent gift certificate. Yeah. We need more Calgon, ancient Chinese secret, huh? Who remember it? Calgon, take me away.
The detergent. And they did
no, it wasn't. It was no, it was Calgon was a bubble bath.
Yeah, but there's Ancient Chinese Secret, huh? Is a detergent commercial.
Oh, okay. I don't remember that one.
They Jackie Chan did a bit with that when he was on Saturday Night Live back in like the early 90s, I think. And the guy, because he was at the dry cleaners or whatever, and they did the whole routine up to that bit where he goes, "Oh no, the cleaning process, ancient Chinese secret." And then the guy was like, "Oh, ancient Chinese secret, huh?" And then Jackie jumps over the counter and grabs him. "I told you, you shut your mouth. It's secret, ancient Chinese secret." Got all violent on him. It was funny. Uncle Joe says the eBay cost for Rodan figures are insane. I stick to the $25 version from Super 7. I'd love to get an original one, but man, they're up there. And Robert, does anyone remember Zare, Venture, or Turnstile? Yeah, I remember Zare.
What is that?
That was a department store.
Oh, okay.
There was a Zare in Massachusetts. I've been there a couple of times. There's only one that I knew of growing up. Johnny says McDonald's missed a golden opportunity. They could have accepted the 77 coupons and made the headlines positive exposure. Yeah, right.
Yeah, okay.
Munin, if you read the article from the Atlantic students at prestigious universities not capable of reading books anymore, I did see that. They can't watch or comprehend a full anime episode is not shocking. Yeah,
I can't understand how you cannot read a full-length book. I mean, I can understand it. It's just
they never learned how, and they're not learning it. They're not learning it in school. The school's not teaching them the basics anymore. So the reading comprehension is not there. The reading readiness is not there. They can't relay their thoughts.
But these kids are in like Harvard and Yale. They're in like the prestigious schools. They're not like in the punk community college.
Yeah, well, still there's other factors that are distracting them. But the primary issue is kids coming from public schools that went to public schools are the biggest factor in that.
I mean, I get that, but we went to public school, and we still
decades ago.
Yeah, when you actually learned how to read, write, and do math.
Yeah, and it was bad then. It was already bad then. When I went to school in the 80s, I knew. By the time I was in junior high, I was cutting classes and ditching school because I felt like I was wasting my time.
Yeah,
and that's just how I felt about it. And If it was bad then, how is it now? And remember, I used to work for the Juvenile Justice Authority,
Yeah.
and how much of that I've seen. Kids that were kids that were graduating high school that couldn't count money, couldn't read a paragraph out of a newspaper, couldn't fill out a job application. It's insane. How are you getting a 3.8, 3.9, 4.0 grade point average, and you can't tell me how many dimes are in a dollar? It's pitiful. Legend says he's worried for people who will suffer from that drug.
Not just that drug, all drugs, because I mean, you see all of these psych meds on there, all of these the weight loss stuff, all of these medications that you see on TV, and you're like, man, it got to be some long term effects that you might not see in the next 5 years, but long
Yeah,
term, maybe you got build up of stuff. You have kids, and that they come out all weird and everything, because they had us evidence women that took birth control pills for long periods of time, they kids turned out weird,
yeah.
and they had proof of that, and it's like, you know, so you just got to be careful, man.
And Blue Splash says people can't pick up some pair of dumbbells and start eating healthy. People are lazy, and they always look for the easiest path, and they think if I can swallow a pill, what do I want to work out for? Why do I want to stick to my diet? One of the biggest issues that I had also is whenever and I would have them occasionally, a client who was diabetic.
Hmm.
When you take them to the endocrinologist, the first thing that they have to do is take a seminar, or they have to watch a video or something, take a class talking about diet and exercise. What do you think of the two things they don't do?
Diet and
Diet and
exercise.
exercise. And then the next thing you know, things are getting cut off. And it sounds really mean, but that's the basics of it. You can avoid a lot of the trouble by just changing your diet. They just won't give it up, whatever it is that they're eating.
No Zimbic ruin ice spice. That's some rapper. I know
Yeah.
that.
Munin says before his dad retired, told me about the youngsters his workplace hired would sometimes wander off randomly, even be caught drooling on themselves.
Oh my god.
Really? That's
I mean,
weird.
we got a lot of young people where we work, and you talk to them, and you're sitting there like, that word doesn't go there. And then if they do something, I have to have them write a statement. And
Oh
then
God.
this one guy, oh God, I felt so bad for him, because I had to sit him down. I was like, he had witnessed an accident, and I'm like, okay, I need you to write a statement. Just write down what you saw, what happened in your own words.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the other managers, I was like, give it to me tomorrow, because it was the end of the day. The other manager was like, just text her. And I'm like, you can't
Mm-mm.
text me.
That won't work.
So the next day I'm like, look, dude, you got to write this down. So then the manager pulled me aside. He was like, you can't have that boy write that thing down. He can't write. I'm like, I know. Don't worry about it. I had him write it, and I read it. And I'm sitting there and my eyes got big as saucers. And I'm like, oh my God. The syntax, the spelling, everything.
Penmanship, yeah.
Oh, so I sat him down and I'm like, look, I'm not saying nothing, but I'm going to write exactly. You tell me what happened. I'll write it down.
Mm-hmm.
And then you copy what I write. Because there's no way I would turn this in with your name on it. You would look, it wouldn't be good for you. He was like, oh, Miss Trinessa, I understand. Um, I'm not good at reading and writing and all of that. I never learned it in school. And the boy's like 22 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh my God, I'm reading that thing. And I'm like,
And they tax us to death to pay for that. I mean,
yeah.
I think 85% of our property tax goes to public school.
I felt
It's insane.
so bad. And he was not, I'm trying to find the right words to not offend the boy. He ain't offended
He
at
knew it
all.
was the truth.
He
He
knew.
accepted it.
Yeah, he was like, I know you're trying to help me, and I really appreciate it. So I said, okay, you tell me in your words, and I'm gonna write down exactly what you said. And I wrote it down, and I said, okay, now you copy this in your handwriting. Because I couldn't, in no way ethically I could turn that in. Just
Mm.
I would have made that boy look like a fool if I had turned that paper in.
Yeah.
So I said, mm-mm. Okay, You know why they don't remember the ending? Because they were tapping away on their cell phone.
That
That's
could
why. That's
very well
probably
be,
why.
Johnny.
Yeah.
That could very well be. Reston says kids these days, 20 to 30-year-olds, have no
Nope.
patience. I have younger coworkers who are easily bored. Their careers will not last. Johnny says they had the movie playing, but they were texting the whole time.
I
That
guess.
could be. And there's
Hey,
Jesse. Say
Jesse.
what? Happy Saturday. Glad you could make it. As all hail the king. That's right. Gilgamesh, I laid in my hammock for about 2 hours today reading. It was a nice
Yay.
day out.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get people being so ADHD about everything.
Mm.
And Robert wants to know how many dimes are there, David? 400. And T. Stewart says, weird kids. What political correctness? Yeah.
Yeah.
And Jesse says, love working out with kettlebells.
I do
Definitely
too.
need to start running.
Yeah.
And Uncle Joe, just trying to catch up here a little bit. Uncle Joe, how you? Hope you guys have a
Okay.
good. Oh, Uncle Joe's got to go.
Yeah.
Glad you were able to join us. And Munin, whenever I go to a store, the only empty section is always the exercise equipment aisle. I have that aisle to myself every time. And Matt, I'm just saying, I've been seeing more and more in modern day society. People are worse off than me, and I'm on the spectrum.
Oh my.
I'm on the spectrum.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not good. It's not good, and there's a lot of problems.
Yeah,
There's
weight
a lot.
loss drugs.
There's a
But
lot
not-
of there's a lot of problems, especially with public school. I mean, I can get on and on and on about it because I had so many issues with it. Again, working for the Juvenile Justice Authority and other issues with the public school and just how badly it's run. But it's a shame. It's just a shame.
Yeah, but we got to get back to nostalgia and stuff like that.
Oh, Fiddle Chips.
Oh, Fiddle Chips
Or
got
unless they're
dip up.
talking to someone else.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But if you are taking off, we're glad you joined us. Fiddle
Yeah.
Chips,
Thank you for
anyways.
spending the time with us.
Don't know yet if we're going to do a thing on Halloween.
We
The thing
talked
is-
about it.
Yeah, because we have done it before.
Yeah.
The thing is, though, is like on weekdays,
Mm-hmm.
we get up very early. We get up at like 5:30 in the morning on weekdays,
Mm-hmm.
and then on weekends we sleep in, which still means we get up at like 7 anyway.
Yeah.
But to us, that's late.
Yeah.
But yeah, we get up early on the weekdays, so staying on a live stream late on a weekday can be a little iffy.
Yeah, I mean, we
whether or
can
not
cut
do
it off early, like do
Possibly.
an hour, hour and a half,
Mhm.
no more than 2. You know, not
Yeah.
these 3-hour long
These marathons that
sessions
we
like
end
we
up
normally do. But yeah, we did talk about doing a live stream on Halloween,
Uh-huh.
talking about Halloween themed stuff this time, like maybe your Halloween. Well, we talk about Halloween experiences, movies. We were thinking about talking about Halloween type movies, horror movies, stuff like that. Stuff we've seen. Recommend some stuff for everybody. Talk about some things maybe that's coming out. Again, things that we've
Yeah.
seen. You know, just Halloween type stuff to kind of keep it in the place there. Okay, wait.
Johnny wants beard hair. Grow your own.
Oh God.
Getting weird, Johnny.
The post is really bad.
Matt says when I got out, I was still motivated to learn whatever I can. Yeah, and yeah, if you're motivated, but most of the kids are not, know that they don't have to do anything.
Yeah.
So what's the point?
Yeah.
People will always take the easier path.
T. Stewart's
Most
birthday.
Oh, really?
So the
on
Halloween show will be
is their
awesome.
birthday.
Okay. That's good. Then we can tell you happy birthday.
Oh yeah. Dale, do you see a lot of big Jim figures at shows, and how much are they? Not really.
We see the van a lot.
You see the van, most of the time it's loose stuff, or if it has the box looks like it's been through a washing machine. And they want a lot for some of that stuff.
Yeah.
They want a lot. I saw the I can't remember his name, the guy that has the boomerangs, but he only had like 2 of them at the last Joe Fest. No, you don't see a lot of the big Jim stuff anymore. Johnny says pre-70s favorite scary movie. Pre-70s favorite scary movie?
That's one I would have to look back and
Yeah.
see. I can't think of any of the time. But see, that's things that we can talk about. If you can think of, like, between now and then, some movies, so we can recommend stuff to each other, so we can watch them.
The
Maybe
Ghost
it's
in Mr. Chicken.
that's not a movie,
It is.
is it?
The Ghost in Mr. Chicken was a Don Knotts film.
Oh God, that's not scary at all.
He was
You should
scared.
you should do a day long.
Oh,
No,
wow.
imagine being more than 8 hours. We've seen some people, they do those 7 and 8
You know
hours.
what's funny
Chance
too?
does
A
that.
lot of times though, those ones that have those marathons, and you look and it's like 3 people watching. And people get tired. They don't want to sit there all day.
Not all day, but I mean, you can listen to them in spurts.
Perhaps.
Hmm.
Perhaps.
Yeah, you should always be improving yourself. You should
Says
always keep
says
learning.
K Munin.
That's
Yeah.
true. That's
Yeah.
true.
You don't want to be stagnant in
No.
life. Stagnant in life. There's always something to do.
Mm-hmm.
There's always something to do, and it doesn't have to be busy work.
Mm-hmm.
Blue Splash says you guys have to watch 90s cartoon Double Dragon. The cartoon?
I know I've never seen that.
I don't remember if I've seen the film. I know there
Oh,
was a
wow.
live action movie. And Johnny says Ghost and Mr. Chicken is a Halloween movie. How about The Ghost and Mrs. Muir?
That was good.
That was a good film.
I've seen Blackula. I've seen
Blackula's
that.
funny.
Yeah, it is. That was.
Now, that guy played that part
He
though. He
did.
meant it. He meant
He
it.
did. That was pretty good. Matchbox Lightning fighting figures.
Fighting
Furies.
Furies getting
It's-
hard to find, especially the accessory packs. They were excellent for customs. I found 2 at the last Joe Fest.
Mm.
I found 2 sealed in the box. Excellent boxes. Blue Splash says keep collecting, but yeah, I've got them sitting right here if you want to see them. I was shocked to see any Fighting Furies, let alone sealed Matchbox Fighting Furies. I was like, holy crap! He didn't want. I don't know if he didn't care or didn't know or what. He didn't want hardly anything for him
Oh my god.
because I couldn't have afforded it otherwise. Munin says if you guys do a Halloween live stream, the only thing horror I know about is the work of Jinji Ito.
And then you know that's gonna be anime.
Junji, not Jinji.
Junji.
Oh, Junji Ito. Johnny says, have you seen Rosemary's Baby?
Yes.
Yes.
We seen
Not the remake.
Not the remake, the original
original.
one. Show them.
Blue Splash wants to see my Fighting Furies.
Okay.
Oh, they're over here.
David's gonna grab them.
Yeah. I know they have they have some carded outfits and they have a play set that looks like a pirate ship or part of it. And they have 3 pirates. They have they have a karate man
Okay.
that came on a card, I think, or was in a wide box. It might have been a wide box. And then they had 3 Western figures. So I've got Hook. But I mean, look at the condition on these boxes. There's Hook. Fights with his cutlass. Throws his knife. I don't know how accurately. See? It's just
Transmissions detected.
uh-oh. It's just in such great condition.
Mm-hmm.
Fighting Furies by Matchbox. And then Captain's Peg Leg. There's the Captain Peg Leg. And I had shown these to a couple of people. I'm like, where the hell were those?
Mm-hmm.
Because this is something people definitely, although you know what would have happened. Some dealer would have snapped them up and then jacked the price up and put it on their table. That's what would have happened. But fortunately, they were found by a dedicated collector. And that's me.
Robert said he's listened to us for 3 hours. He think he can go for 6.
5 or 6 hours?
No, we don't decorate for Christmas. We don't decorate
No.
for any holiday.
Not really, no.
Any of them. Your live stream will keep me from being scared on Halloween. I doubt
You'll be
it.
scared?
I'll probably repeat this on Halloween stream, but modern horror is just cheap jump scares. That's true.
and attempts to make you vomit. Nothing scary at all.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, a lot of I hate gore porn. I hate gore stuff.
Yeah.
I don't want to see that. I don't want to see. I hate these so-called horror films, and all they really are is just watching people be tortured for no reason. I can't stand that. Johnny says he needs to watch Village of the Damned. Is it any good? Is
I
that the
think
one
I've
with the
seen-
kids? I think that's the one with the kids, right?
With the blonde hair,
Yeah,
the blonde hair kids. If that's
that's
the
pretty good.
yeah, if that's the one with the blonde hair kids, that is good.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a good movie.
it's weird.
Somebody
Yeah,
famous in that.
I don't
I
remember.
can't remember who's in it,
Yeah,
but yeah, that movie was real good. I change up my ringtone every few months.
yeah. Johnny wanted to know why it's not using Macho Man right now.
Yeah, I change it up every so often.
And DC says there's a hidden map, and his peg like, yeah,
Oh,
that's
really?
right. Yeah, it unscrews.
You're gonna open it up and see?
No,
Oh wow.
I'm not opening those packages.
A
ever.
day-long live stream will be fun for you, but not us.
Oh yeah. You
So
think
no.
we'll be bored?
I think we would run out of things to talk about.
Oh, I don't know if we could run out of things to talk about because I think we're very conversational. But and also we're focused. We're
Oh, yeah?
focused. Well, you know how sometimes you see those live streams and they got like 12 people on the screen,
Mm-hmm.
and it's all these little boxes, and everybody's like milling about themselves and trying to talk over each other, or they're sitting there drinking beer, or they're not even on the screen, or something weird's going on, sitting there eating a sandwich.
The problem with modern horror is that the plots are worn out and terrible. That's true, because it's always a rehashing of another plot. And I guess that could be okay if you imagine it different enough. But if all you want to do is see how much blood you can put on the screen in one shot, then
And that's the modern attitude, unfortunately, with a lot of these creations. It's like the modern incarnation of Twilight Zone they attempted a couple of years back. And their big selling point was now there'll be a lot of foul language in it. And I'm like, how is that impressing me? You know, you're going to have good storytelling? Are you going to have good acting, good cinematography? No. Your selling point is we're going to cuss a lot. I don't care about that. I don't even want to hear it. Rod Serling didn't need to use any foul language, did he?
And it still holds up.
Fantastic camera shots, and had to, because it was black and white.
Mm-hmm.
And so you needed to have really good cinematography. The cameraman really needed to know what he was doing. You had fantastic acting. The acting was stellar.
Mm-hmm.
And the storytelling was really well done. And that's why it still holds up today.
Yeah.
Don't tell me your show is going to be better because people are going to cuss.
And now it's on the free streaming channel.
Yeah, because it failed.
Yeah,
obviously.
It failed miserably to the point that it's on the free streaming app. Is there a hidden map in your crown, David?
No, but I sure do need some treasure. Gilgamesh says, only older horror I know is from Mystery Science Theaters, things like the Bowery Boys Meet the Monsters. My mom loved old shows like that. Mystery Science Theater was fun.
Yeah, we still watch those shows,
Yeah.
even ones we've already seen, because it's just so funny.
Sometimes it's a lot of fun.
No, we're not doing an 8-hour live stream. It's not going to happen. David might do it. I'm going to cut out at about 3 hours. I'm done.
Gilgamesh says you're saying you don't like Saw. I wouldn't watch it.
No.
I
I saw the first one, and that was enough. I don't think they needed 20 of them.
Yeah.
The only modern movie that bothered me was Sinister. It was one to watch. Pretty scary.
It says Blue Splash.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I can't even think of a modern one because none of it looks appealing to me. None of it looks like anything I would want to see. DC says Smile 2 was the worst horror movie. Last good modern horror was The Conjuring in 2013.
We saw the preview or the trailer for Smile 2.
Oh, please, yeah.
When we went to the Joker film, and it looked crazy then. And I'm like, oh, God, that's a part 2. So that means it was something else before this?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, no. Going further back, silent movie actors had to act to know how to convey a message.
They had to be very physically expressive.
Yeah, that's why they did all of the facial expressions so well.
Yeah.
Because they had to, because they weren't talking.
Yeah, they weren't talking, but there you go.
Mm-hmm.
We prefer the older ones. We prefer suspenseful ones. The Shining is a good example
Yeah, The
of a
Shining was good.
suspenseful film
Yes.
because you can feel tension building, building, building throughout the entire film. And notice also, there's very little background music in that movie.
I don't think it's any.
There's rarely moments with music, rarely, and that's done deliberately
Mm-hmm.
because it does help to build that tension. It's brilliant, but you got to know what you're doing with a film to pull that off. It's got to be well written,
Mm-hmm.
and The Shining pulled it off. That tension, just the silence will build that tension. You get some of that in Alien too.
Now,
the
see,
original
y'all talking
Alien.
about all of the horror movies now, and that means on Halloween we won't have nothing to talk about.
Oh, I see. Well, you have a point.
It'll be a rehashing. We'll be talking about it
Uh,
again. It'll be repetitive.
They don't care.
Yeah, they don't. They really
Oh,
don't.
no. They don't
Yeah,
care.
Johnny, I agree. I don't like all that.
You don't need it.
No, you don't. And I
If it's
have
a good
seen
story, you don't need it.
I have seen horror movies, and a lot of the black and white ones, you know the person got killed, and you see no blood at all. You just know what's going on without it's implied. You don't have to have all this gore and watch somebody pulling the guts out and chopping the head off and doing all of that.
Same thing with like sex scenes.
Yeah.
You went into the room and you shut the door. I know what's going on.
Yeah.
I don't need to watch it for 18 minutes. Go away. I don't want to see that. I really don't.
I think they do a really good job of implying when you watch soap operas like on Dallas. You'll see, okay, you know what happened because they're in the bed and they got the sheet over them. Okay, we know what happened.
JR is putting his shirt on.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, I see what happened there.
Exactly.
And that's all you need.
And that's all you need. You don't have to see every act.
That's called filler. Watching the whole act is called filler. It's called we didn't have enough dialogue and we need to fill 8 minutes or however long they do the scene for. God knows, it varies, but we didn't have enough story or dialogue.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna load this up.
Yeah, we're gonna pad it out.
Yeah, and it's unnecessary.
Yeah,
it's unnecessary.
K-Munin finds horror movies boring and fall asleep during the majority of them.
No, that's fear. And your body shuts down because you're so scared. And you're like, no. Oh.
Modern Asian horror is better than the stuff here. South Korean do good horror. I have seen some South Korean ones like Train to Busan.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was South Korea. That was a good movie. That one was good. And I have seen a few, and they are better. They are. I'll watch horror movies, but usually not my vibe. I prefer black and white Universal Monsters or the Hammer films. Silence of the Lambs was good. I seen all three of them. I saw all three, but the first one I think was the best. But I did see all three, and I read the books.
Blue Splash liked It.
Yeah. I like the modern It. Both of them.
I like that. Oh, they both portrayed the clowns very differently.
Yeah.
I appreciate the way that Tim Curry did it. He was very sarcastic, actually. Munin says, when I was an acting student, I always made sure the music fit the performance scene. People don't know how important the right music really is.
Mm-hmm.
True. Johnny wants to know where we are with Dallas. Yeah, that's right, because I don't see
Chance in here
today because he always asks about Dallas. He loves that show.
Bobby got shot.
Yeah.
He was in JR's office, sitting in the chair.
And now he's blind.
Now he's blind.
Yeah.
Pam got it all figured out about her sister.
Yes.
And the sister came to the hospital to see Bobby.
Only took her like 4 years.
Yeah. And Pam is like, you need to get out of here. Leave my man alone. He's blind. And the sister's like, he's blind? Oh my God.
Go.
I'm sorry. I gotta go. And she left. Cliff Oil Wells came in, so now he's ultra rich. And JR didn't know it because Bobby had got shot, so he didn't have time to monitor that. What else is going on? That's it. Because Bobby just got shot. So he's in the hospital and he found out that he's blind. And now everybody's trying to figure out who shot Bobby because they weren't shooting Bobby at
They were
Bobby.
trying to
They were
shoot
trying to kill JR for the third time
and they caught a guy shooting at him
in the middle of the day in the street
because he was drunk.
Yeah.
And it's not the shooter because the bullets don't match.
Yeah, because JR was like, we got him.
No,
We're
I'm
safe.
afraid not.
And then the sheriff comes in. No, that's not the guy because the bullets don't match. And then we got eyewitness accounts of where he was when Bobby got shot.
Yeah,
so they're back at square
apparently
one.
he was sitting there like drunk in the hotel all night in the lobby, looking stupid.
We saw the bat. That was pretty good. It was silly, but it was pretty good. With Vincent Price.
He was in a bunch of silly films, but he's classic.
I like
Blue
all
Flash.
of Stephen King's stuff.
Oh yeah, did you like Maximum Overdrive?
I don't know.
It's a good cheesy film.
Yeah.
Because that movie's stupid.
There's a South Korean zombie series called Kingdom. It does have some gore, but it's a good show. It's set in the 1700s.
Huh.
I'm going to watch Train to Busan. Yeah, it's on like Tubi, I think. And then they got two versions. They got the English dub version and the one with the subtitles. Of course, I watched the English dub version. And it was a good movie. It was, I think it was a South Korean, maybe Chinese. I think it was South Korean, though. But it was pretty good.
Retro Style says he's getting into Hong Kong horror movies like Mr. Vampire.
Okay, I never seen any of that.
Junkman is there.
Hey,
he says,
Junkman.
Sadly, we never got the release of Mego Dallas figures line.
I would love to have a line of Dallas figures and Falcon Crest.
Yeah, because you know that's where New Mego started doing that kind of stuff, and where they had the Target contract and it wasn't moving. You know, except for Fonzie, but that's a classic remake, anyways. But like the Cheers figures and the Facts of Life and all that, it was really bad peg warmers. And they've moved into a better place now, sticking with sci-fi and horror stuff primarily. And then, of course, the Atlas stuff looks like it's going to work out for them. But yeah, I mean, that sounds like something they might have tried when they were still using the Target contracts, for sure.
Yeah, Bobby got shot in the last episode of season 7. So now we just moved into season 8.
Somebody ran into JR's office and started firing at the back of the chair, and then Bobby falls out, and that was the season cliffhanger.
Yeah.
It's like, oh crap, wrong guy. Because
any Universal Monster horror film is worth watching. That's true.
Yeah, and again, really good cinematography, especially for black and white films.
And Last Man on Earth was good.
Vincent Price, yes. And it was redone several times.
Oh, has it?
Well, I mean, Last Man on Earth became the Omega Man with Charlton Heston.
Okay.
And then Omega Man was rewritten into, what was it? The one with Will Smith.
Eli or something?
No, that's not Will Smith.
Oh, I don't know.
The one with Will Smith where the virus had killed off most of the population.
I don't know, because I never seen it.
I'm trying to remember the name of it. Somebody will tell me. Junkman says Dallas line Amigo was to be around 1983. Small. Oh, really?
Really?
Okay. So they were doing something along the lines of what they did with Love Boat.
I think I saw Woman in Black.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah, it does. It sounds very familiar. Yeah. And we saw Carnival of Souls.
Carnival of Souls, goofy.
That's
they
one.
They did that one on Riff Tracks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I Am Legend.
Thank you. That was the third version. I Am Legend. I couldn't think of the name for some reason.
Okay, all of those are remakes of Last Man. Okay, I didn't realize that. That's why.
Last Man on Earth. Just reimaginings of it. The Charlton Heston one, Omega Man, is pretty interesting. They did a good job with that one. Nerd says Sinister is a good and Insidious will screw with your mind.
I saw Insidious, I think, because Insidious got like 3-4 It's got a sequel, like 3, 4 of them.
Oh yeah.
I think I saw that. I don't know,
Okay.
but I know I never saw.
I don't
Sinister.
remember, and a lot of the modern ones too. They're not memorable to me, and they're not anything I would want to see again.
That's true.
And that's the thing too.
I don't think it's a modern horror film out there that I want to even buy to have in case the grid
Maybe
goes down.
the first It.
Oh yeah, that's right. Both of them.
Yeah.
The new ones.
Yeah. I didn't see the second one.
Oh, you didn't see the second one? I did.
You saw it in the theater. That's
Yeah,
why.
I did.
With the group. I
Yeah.
wasn't with the group when you went.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw. Yeah, I would get it. And I saw the Stephen King. He had 2 TV shows that I thought were good.
Castle Rock.
And what was the other one? I can't think of the name of the other one
Thinking
right now.
in terms of modern ones, not vintage ones. Like I would
Yeah.
watch Rose Red again, or I would watch Storm of the Century, things like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I would watch that. I would. You know, The Door in the Woods. I did like that movie now. You remember that one where
That was all right,
the
yeah.
family, they were walking through the woods and found that door.
And
that dumb woman wanted to take it home.
Take the door home so
It's
she
like
could do something stupid with
the
it.
door is in the middle of the woods, chained.
Yeah, you leave that mess alone.
If it's chained, that tell you right there, don't mess with that door.
I don't remember Ghoulies very well, Blue Splash. I do remember Critters though. Critters.
The Birds.
Yeah,
was good.
Hitchhawks of Birds was silly. Blue Splash, Critters. There was 3 of those, right? Critters.
I don't know.
And Munin says, personally, I, Robot was one of Will Smith's best works, in my opinion. I Am Legend was okay.
I did see I, Robot, and that was good. You know, the other one of his that was actually pretty good, the one where the Central Intelligence was after him.
I know the one you're talking about.
You know what I mean? I can't think of the name of it. And then they brought that guy back to like make a connection. What, Gene Hackman, I think
Gene
is his
Hackman
name.
was in
He
it.
was in a movie in the 70s. And
That's
I
right.
think that was supposed to be his character that Will Smith met.
Yeah, because that's what he was doing in that
exactly.
film.
And then he wouldn't show his face. So he when he was on the roof and everything, he wouldn't lift his head up so the camera can see him. I cannot think of the name of that movie.
Yeah,
but anyway,
someone will tell us.
Yeah, somebody know what I'm talking about.
Oh, okay, you read that.
Yeah.
Robert never saw Omega Man.
Well, you gotta look it up.
He did like Last Man on Earth. You might like it.
I've heard of Midnight Meat Train, but the only reason why I didn't watch that because it says Meat Train, and I thought it was going to be a lot of butchering and gore and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I never saw it. Welcome to Earth.
Action Figure Phil.
Hey, Action Figure Phil, how are you?
There. Gilgamesh favorite horror is stuff like what Full Moon used to put out: Puppet Master, Blood Dolls, Doll Man, Subspecies,
stuff like that.
And Blue Splash, The Gate is pretty good from the 80s.
That sounds familiar.
You know what I like was The Keep.
We saw The Keep.
Yeah, The Keep is good.
Boris Karloff, Frankenstein from
1970.
the 70s. I like.
And the 70s version of Nosferatu is good, but you got to get it in English. It's a German film, but it is dubbed in English. That's pretty well done. It's pretty well done. Oh, Robert played hooky to watch Critters. You snuck into the theater because I don't think you were old enough to watch Critters.
Gene Hackman living off the grid. Yeah. He was in that one with Will Smith. They had to go find him. Alfred Hitchcock, The Birds, is imagining all the bird.
It would have been everywhere. And Nerd says that in their opinion,
Really?
Fresh Prince of Bel-Air is Will Smith's best work. That show's insufferable. Retro says iRobot's a ripoff of the Outer Limits 64 of the same name.
Outer Limits had a episode.
Oh, that was the one with the yeah. You saw it. Leonard Nimoy was the lawyer, right? Defending the robot in court. Am I correct?
Yes, Twilight Zone.
And they remade it.
Enemy of the State. That's it.
Thank you.
I know somebody was going to know
and
it.
the new Outer Limits redid that episode
Okay.
also.
I think I kind of remember it on new. Yeah, I do remember it because the guy made him, and they thought he killed
Yes.
the dad.
And they had to put him on trial or
Yeah.
something as a
Okay.
witness. And
Yeah.
I think the original one, it was Leonard Nimoy was the guest star.
You know the Frankenstein I like the one with that comedian from Willy Wonka. I like that one.
Young Frankenstein.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
The Mel Brooks film.
Yeah.
Mel Brooks is in a lot of one. You know which one I liked? Life Stinks.
We watched that the other day because I had bought a bunch of the Mel Brooks movies. Because I like those, and we saw Life Stinks. That was that one was good. But Young Frankenstein, I want to say is the best.
Putting on the Ritz.
I never liked
Meat Train. It's exactly like it sounds,
Oh,
says
okay.
Robert. Yeah. Yeah.
That's why I never watched it because of the name, and I was thinking, oh man, it's going to be some people trapped on a train. They're going to be butchering each other, and it's going to be this big butcher fest.
Is that the one where the guy kills people on the train and skins them and then brings them to an abandoned station because there's ghouls there that eat?
I don't know because I never saw it.
You did see that one?
No, I didn't.
The one I'm talking about? Yeah, the guy, he would kill and skin people and hang them up in the rails, and then they would stop at the station and the conductor was in on it, and there were ghouls and they come on the train and they eat them.
Oh.
You did see that, if that's the one I'm thinking of.
Oh, that was not memorable at all.
Huh.
Oh, speaking
Johnny
of movie
says
posters.
he has, let me see.
Oh, he won a poster off of Heritage.
Superman 1977, King Kong 1976. If I mentioned that before, I'm sorry.
You
That's
didn't
okay.
mention it.
That's okay.
That's cool.
Those are cool though.
Invasion of the Body Snatchers was a good one.
I like the 70s one, actually.
Yeah, I like that one better than the other two.
There's a one before and one after it. And I saw, Gilgamesh says Transylvania 65000. I saw that. I have that on disc, actually. And Johnny, I remember watching King Kong every year in October.
Why?
Jessica Lange and Jeff Bridges.
Why you watch it every year in October?
Oh, I don't know.
Terrifier. I've heard about Terrifier.
Sawing a girl in half, upside down.
Nude.
Yeah.
With a hacksaw.
Yeah,
I've heard about that.
I
Terrifier,
really need to see that.
And people say that it's good.
Yeah.
I don't want to watch any more butchering.
I've heard it's more gore porn.
Yeah. I don't want to see any more butchering.
Reston says yes, Brady Cooper and Vinnie
Bradley.
Jones Bradley Cooper and Vinnie Jones supernatural thriller.
Okay.
But there we go.
Mm-hmm.
And we are almost at 3 hours.
Mm-hmm.
So we're almost at 3 hours. Robert says, I think so. I remember the guy at the end ends up killing everyone and becoming the killer. He ends up replacing the butcher on the train is what it is.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, I think you did see that. And it's, it's not my cup of tea. But we're almost at the 3 hour mark.
Yeah.
So we'll probably go ahead and wrap up. We're going to go eat and go do other things.
Mm-hmm.
And so we'll say, hey, yeah, that's what Blue Splash says. Terrifier is nothing but butchering. Yeah, I don't want to see that. Thank you, everybody who was able to join us.
Mm-hmm.
We appreciate you.
Thank you for spending your time with us. We always appreciate it. We know time is precious. And we always thank you for spending time.
Oh, there's he says, hit the like, folks. Yes, please do if you don't mind.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll put out something if we're gonna do something on Halloween.
Yeah, we'll let you know.
Again, we want to talk about Halloween type films like what y'all talked about tonight. But give recommendations to people
or shows or specials or nostalgia.
Just talk about Halloween type stuff since it's Halloween.
Sure. And we'll even put a Halloween image up on the thumbnail.
Ooh. So anyway, guys, good night. I hope y'all have a very uneventful week,
Mhm.
and I pray it goes smoothly for